Much involved in the sort of off-field administrative element of the club in terms of your directorship?
Not really, no. It's just having someone who's probably just been out of the game, because you've got your Wes Lofts and John Elliott and those guys that have been around a while, and I think they just wanted to have someone pretty close to the footy side who can relate from match committee to the board, and that's probably why I'm on there, just basically reporting for the footy side of it.
So do you sit in on other board meetings? Are you across the board in terms of the stuff that they discuss?
Yeah, it's a bit above my head, Andrew, I must admit. I'm in on the finance meetings and all that sort of thing, and I've found it pretty interesting. I only meet it once every 3 or 4 weeks, but it's pretty interesting to find out, especially with the debates on Optus Oval and whether, obviously it's not being in the AFL's plans for the future and that sort of thing. So it's been pretty interesting. I've enjoyed it.
Kicking inside the 50, Kernahan keeps the ball in front. Still he goes, some indecision, but served them well from 45 metres out. Kernahan, goal!
It was such a sort of bastion of Carlton victories there for so long. It was a very difficult place for the side to be beaten. Does it take away from the side's capacity to play elsewhere, given the nature of the ground? You have to gear aside for the bigger, faster venues that maybe don't necessarily suit footy at Carlton?
Well, it has been. We've had a good record there. We've dropped a few there recent times, and we're not quite as strong as we have been at home in past years. But yeah, look, the MCG, everyone loves playing at the MCG when we play there, and if we ever went to the Docklands, which who knows what will happen in the future. Look, your home ground advantage has been pretty important to us, there's no doubt, so I suppose you lose a bit that way, but I don't think anyone who plays the MCG, even though you play Essendon and North Melbourne, it's their home game, I don't think you can say you've got the home ground advantage, because everyone loves playing at the G.
But in terms of bringing players into your structure, that you might need maybe a player who's suited at Optus Oval, particularly in the position you used to play, may not be suited at Subi or may not be suited at Waverley. Is there a discrepancy in terms of that?
Well, yeah, it could be. Certainly, like you look at Waverley, there's Subiaco on a hot summer's day, which can happen in the middle of winter over there, 20 degrees and good fast track. There's no doubt you play certain blokes at Optus Oval where you get the ball on the forward line a bit quicker. If you go down the middle without getting caught on the flanks, then you probably can't play them at certain grounds like Waverley and Subiaco, yeah.
You mentioned Subiaco in round 10. Club had stellar victory over there against the odds and all that, and then they come out in the next 2 weeks and go bang bang at home and lose to 2 non-Victorian sides in games that most of us penciled in for at least one victory. As a player, you've always got your reasons for it. How difficult is it sitting in the coach's box, seeing those sorts of turnarounds in performance?
Well, we've been a bit shattered, to tell you the truth. The match committee, you really think you've turned something around and found a way. I think everything we put down in that game worked. We rotated the forward line and got McIntosh out, Jakovic back, and we really moved the ball well and chipped it a bit shorter. And then once we got over the midfield, directed it a bit longer. We got everything worked that day, and you think you got something up and going. All the forwards got a bit of the ball, which has been our Achilles heel a bit. And when you get to Optus Oval and you're 6'4", I think, and got Brisbane Lions who haven't got a good away record, and Sydney at home, and you do. We penciled one in for sure, and I reckon we should have won both, because I don't think Brisbane or Sydney were playing that well at the time or on the day.
Do you enjoy your time in the box?
Yeah, I do. It's an interesting one. I advise all people to sit with a coach like Parkin one day in their lives. It's an interesting experience, no doubt about that. And we've got Wayne Britton in there, the assistant coach, who's a bulldog. He's hard at it, and you've got Greg Williams in the other chair as well. And I'm a bit quieter than those three, but it's an entertaining day. I really do enjoy it. I love going to footy. And I don't think I could see myself sitting in the grandstand and listening to the boys copping from our supporters at times, but I enjoy it in the box, I really do.
What do you offer? What do you find most challenging or stimulating about that, and how do you get your information and point of view across?
Well, look, it's intense in there. You can't have, there's about 8 or 9 people in the box nowadays.
Too many?
I think it can be, but you've got your stats guy up the back now. It's all electronically, it's not computerised in there, and
You'd be across all that, of course.
Oh, of course,
Yep.
I'm right into that.
Yep.
But, you know, I've always reckoned you can see what's going on out there. You don't need too many people to tell you what to do.
So the bloke goes, oh, the stats package has crashed. They go, Sticks, go around and fix that for us.
I'm no help to them there. But I don't know if I get stimulated now. I just really enjoy being in there. I mean, it gets heated, there's no doubt about it at times. But at the end of the day, if you get the result done, you walk out best mates and happy to get the win. It's just anything you can do in there, even if it does get a bit heated and 2 want it one way and 3 want it another way, you just work it out, and in the end it goes down to which way Parker wants to go.
How much are you thinking about the prospect of coaching at senior level, if not at Carlton, but somewhere?
Well, there's nothing more sure than death than being one day you'll be replaced as coach, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's the only fact in the world,
No,
isn't it?
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, but look, I've been pushing my barrow. Don't worry about that. As I said before, I've been pretty relaxed about just easing back into the backseat of footy since I finished playing. And yeah, look, I mean, coaching's such a hard thing. I'm a director at Moody's Printing with Braddles.
That's
and
the free plug. That's the one.
That's the
free
one
plug
I
that
won't
we got
do
in there.
anymore.
Do you want to give
guys.
the phone number while we're
I
at
think
it?
you warned me about that earlier, and I just
exactly.
threw it in.
Put a little graphic running across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I've got 2 little girls, Ellie and Katie, which it's enjoying seeing them grow up. And
what about the $150,000 inducement that Jack Elliott's been offering to increase the?
Yeah,
no,
I don't think,
nothing to that.
No, I don't know. 2 might do Jen and I at the moment, but
the father and son thing's pretty attractive down there. They like pushing the.
It'd be nice to have one, but we're all moving on, Andrew, aren't we? But coaching, you just got to give up a hell of a lot, and just for the minute, I'm not probably willing to do that. I mean, not that I've been approached by anyone or said. I mean, I've been rumoured with Collingwood apparently, and no one's approached me about that. I'm basically just a support staff at Carlton.
But look, I'm asking you now, and you don't have to be an idiot to assume that plenty of people would have broached the subject with you. You must have had a talk, at home here about, what if I was to do it? Should I think about it? And certainly not undermining David Parkin at all to say that I've thought about it, but given the fact that so many people are talking about it, there must have been a quiet time in your recent history where you've thought, am I ready? And obviously you have thought about it.
Well, if you put it on me like that, I would say that this is my 2nd year out of league footy, and I reckon in another 2 years, this year if I'm still involved at Carlton in the next couple of years, at the end of that day, after getting the business up and going, and if I'm enjoying what I'm doing at Carlton, if I'm still involved there or wherever, if it came up, I'd weigh it up then. But I couldn't say right now. I'm happy to just leave it for 2 or 3 years and see how I feel, and enjoy myself, relax. I've played footy for a hell of a long time, every night of my life, and I'm enjoying just sitting back, the slower pace of an assistant, not actually the full-time one. So that's how I'd answer that one.
And it would need to be the burning passion, wouldn't it? These days it seems like, you can't go in there unless it's something that you've been preparing for and gearing towards and learning about for quite some time.
Absolutely, and the guys, people don't fully understand what a coach goes through now. I mean, they'll be at the footy tonight. They go Saturday, they leave their home at 8 in the morning to go see the reserves and obviously coach the league side. Saturday night they might be off on a plane to Adelaide to see the Crows play, who we got next week. Fly back at the 7 o'clock flight Sunday morning, go straight to the G to watch the Sunday game, and then go down and do your review of the Saturday's match and do your match reports and your notes to all the players and have your Monday meeting. I mean, it's a hell of a life.
Sounds horrible. Why would anyone want to do it?
Well, that's what I mean. If I had 11, 12, 15-year-old kids, I reckon I might feel a bit different, but I'm really... And I think Greg's the same. People have spoken about Greg Williams as well, and we're both probably just going to sit back for a few years and just enjoy our involvement there, see the kids for a little while and weigh it up in a few years' time. Man, and tell the world you love him. Keep giving all the love you can. Baby, stand by your man. Woo!
Well, That
it's
is
just unbelievable.
That is very, very ordinary.
Ange, I consider you a reasonable, friend of mine, a fellow Carlton man, and you've really done a number on me there.
Well, you did the number on yourself. Those sorts of crimes against humanity are never to be forgiven, never to be forgotten, and it's at times like this that we need to revisit it. How much money would you give to not have had that moment captured by some
Well, I can't believe
prying television cameraman?
As I came, I had that testimonial year in '97. We had a few functions. I mean, it just kept coming everywhere I went, or a lunch or a dinner. They'd just have it in the background, and I used to shudder as I walked in the room. I'd be going, "You're not playing that song, are you?" The amazing thing was that I think it did shoot back to #1 after that, the Tammy Wynette angle on it. But
you're clearly a man of influence.
Absolutely. And the voice is surprised I didn't go on to bigger and better things.
Well, was there ever any consideration to do anything like that? Was there any offers from, the sort of Broadway promoters or anything like that?
Oh, well, I'd had a chat to Peter McKenna about pursuing it as he did in his footy career, but I just don't think I needed to. I was waiting for that bloke at the Deltones. The guy who did the baritone at the back.
No.
I thought there might have been a...
No.
Okay.
No, and actually I had a look at the CD collection before we started rolling, and I did notice a few Deltones classic hits of the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, that's a worry, isn't it?
Yeah, your music taste does leave a little bit to the desire. In fact, now that you mention McKenna, the link's been obvious all these years. The dark forwards, with the swarthy sort of, complexion. What is it?
Well, I think you'd class him as the glamour full forward. I don't think anyone surely could put me in that role. I think that'd be...
Glamour?
Yeah.
We should go back to revisit a few of your goal kicking exploits, and there's two kicks that I'll never forget you for. One was round 22, 87 against North, with a day, probably the best day in the history of modern footy in terms of the results that were going on and the way they were shaping the five at the time. When you lined up for that kick against North out at Waverley that day, did you realise what was going on?
Well, we knew it was close. I mean, there were the three sides angling for the double chance first of all, second and third, and obviously the week's rest at the top. And I think everyone knew it was pretty important to get a week's rest at some stage because it'd been a long, hard year. And but no, look, at the end of the day, when you take that mark, you just think, we need a goal now. And it's getting late in the quarter. As I'm walking back the siren, I thought, fantastic. And you don't want to be in that position a lot. And you're probably talking about another... It was amazing in my life how many times that happened to me in Adelaide and Melbourne.
Yeah.
It was uncanny that I'd grab, it'd land in my hand and just about on the sign just before it or after it'd be in my hands, which was about 7 or 8 times. And I missed one and I'll be remembered forever for it.
Yeah, of course the Essendon kick.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That hurt.
How did it come off so poorly? Like, what was there? Have you revisited the tape and is there something
what year was it, Andrew?
93, I think.
93. I've tried to block it out of my life forever, but it keeps coming up. But I do remember. Look, it was a 30-minute mark just before it. We were 6 points down, and I took a mark again, and I thought, I'm in this spot again, and I was about 50 out, and dead in front this one, and. That went through and I thought, we've got the draw, and it's about 31 and it comes straight out the middle again and I've got it again. And then the siren went just as I was about to run in and actually stopped and went back. And I remember, you couldn't make an excuse, but I was rude and I was tired. And,
I'm sure you're allowed to say that.
All I was trying to do was steer it through. I was just trying to get a point, and I shouldn't have. I should have had a crack at kicking the goal, and I tried to steer it and it went sideways. And the amazing thing, and I've seen it a few times before, it didn't miss by 5 or 10 metres.
No,
it's missed by 30 or 40 metres.
It was like a Greg Norman 4-iron at the 18th of Augusta. I mean, it was nowhere near the green. It was
it was a shock, and I spent a bad week. I really did.
But then the next week, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, it was Hawthorn, and similar situation with about 30 seconds to go. You take a mark at about 45 at Optus and at Princes Park, as it was lovingly referred to back then, and knocked it straight through the middle. So it's a funny game.
And look, not that you need to see, but at the end of the third quarter of that same game against Hawthorn, I've taken a mark. We're kicking with a howling gale about 50 odd metres out, and I took a mark. I'm walking back, and the siren went again. This is a fact. Third quarter, and I could hear the whole crowd going, "Oh no!" And I'm going, "Oh gee, why is this happening to me?" And I kicked that, which was great because everyone put us in front, I think, and. you know, and then again, 30 minutes later, 30-minute mark, we were a couple of points down, and yeah, took one, and I went back quick. I raced back and kicked it really quick, and it went through, and we won the side win a minute later.
Now Kernahan, he's kicked 3 behind so far, and he's at last kicked a goal.
Tell you what, it would be one of the worst kicks at that goal I've ever seen.
It was amazing how many times that you still kicked a goal, but from 35 or 40 it'd wobble over the pack's head, and you know.
Yeah, I must admit, look, I'm a bit embarrassed about it. You know, people would call it I'm the skills coach at Carlton now, and I still get remembered for how I finished my career kicking for goal. But yeah, you know, it really hits home when I mentioned this a while ago. But early this year, I was watching Friday night footy on the TV here where we're sitting now, Andrew, and Bruce McAvaney, someone floated one through from 40 metres out, and Bruce McAvaney said that was a Stephen Kernahan special.
You never be forgotten.
Well, you remembered for all of that,
for all the wrong reasons. I imagine during the playing days you don't spend much time looking at what you've achieved, but now that it's sort of 18 months out of the game as a player, have you given time to thinking about, you know, the longest serving captain in the history of footy? Has that been something that you've reflected on at all?
Well, it's nice to get something. I mean, I don't reflect on that one, but when you do, you know, I pull out the odd book nowadays when you've got nothing to do, the odd scrapbook that Mum used to keep together, and you go through those things, and you know, there's some big names, you know, that Reynolds and Whitten and all that sort of thing, and not that I was a better player than those guys, but you know, to come from Adelaide and play 5 years in Adelaide before playing here, and you get a record like that, obviously you played reasonable footy for a reasonable time, so yeah, I look at it proud, but I'd be a liar if I said I didn't. Sometimes when you go home at 3 or 4 in the morning and you're a bit hungry and you get some food on that, you don't whack on the 95 grand final tape or the 85
it's never
grand
off
tape or
joint.
something like that, you know. I'd be a liar if I said that didn't come on, but I can only get it on when the kids aren't around or Jen's not around, so it's usually late at night when I'm up on my own. So,
is there a moment that's richer and more cherished to you than, out of all the great moments that you had and you produced and you were part of, is there one that stands taller than all others for you?
No, I'm a bit boring when they ask me those. All the premierships are pretty close.
No, that's a pretty good answer, I reckon.
You know, I don't separate any of those.
Is 95 better than 87 in that regard?
Well, look, for the reason, if you had to separate them for any reason, just that we've been written off, 93 grand final loss, 94, lost both finals after having a good year and really showing that we might, you know, be a good enough side to take it out. And I really thought, hell, you know, are we gone? I might as well give it away. I don't think, is success coming or not? I don't think it will. And thank God, you know, we had the best half forward line. People won't rate it that way, but when we got Rice, Spalding and Clapper together in 95, after being written off for 2 or 3 years as too old, we had about 8 blokes well into their 30s. And just to win 16 in a row, and I think that's the record by about 5 or something like that, and including winning your preliminary final and your grand final by 10 goals each. You know, don't get more emphatic than that. So I suppose that'd be the proudest moment, because you're later in your life when people think you can't do it, all those older blokes contributed and got them there.
And a particularly significant year for you, given the fact that I think before the season started, your mum died, and you. I mean, I remember speaking to you before that, and I think you might have almost dedicated the season to her in one respect. And when you can achieve something like that, did you, at the end of it all, sort of sit back and have a quiet moment and think about, you know, what she would have thought had she been able to sort of share the moment with you?
Yeah, well, you do all of those things. You know, she tried to hang on for a long time to see, you know, premiership success and all that sort of thing. And she tried to hang on for the 200th game, which was at the start of that year in 95, and just missed out. She went in February. So, yeah, look, you probably dedicate, you know, just... Look, Mum went to every game. I had a photo of Mum and all that sort of stuff. And she loved her footy and all that sort of thing. And it was pretty special when the old man, I hadn't told Dad I'd had Mum in the locker all year and that sort of thing, and I showed him after the grand final. So it was a pretty special time.
That must have been a fantastic moment to...
Yeah, Dad had the tears in the eyes and all of that. But yeah, look, they would have been great to have Mum there. And as you say, 95 was a special year because we had a hard time that year. I
imagine footy clubs at times like that would be important places to take your mind off, you know, personal tragedies and crises that people go through for whatever particular reason?
Yeah, well, they are. And when Mum went in February, we had a night game against Richmond, and you know, it was about 4 days away. And I really thought about playing, and you know, everyone said, "Don't worry about it, just go home and, you know, get the funeral over and done with." And you know, that was Mum would have loved you, kept playing and all that, but I ended up staying home, and the support we had, the players coming to the funeral from all over, you know, not only Melbourne and Adelaide, from all over, the place was sensational. I suppose the best thing about that is you get back to training the next week and you get your mind off things, and you get through with your mates, and Carlton's fantastic at that. I mean, Braddles has been through the same thing, and Wayne Johnston recently with the tragic loss of his son, and you know, Carlton Footy Club, they look after their own, and better than most clubs, I think. And we've got a night coming up for Jono to raise some money for the family, just to help out. Not that it's a small thing, but you know, that's what Carlton a lot. You know, if someone's in trouble or anything, they rally around.
It's difficult. I don't want you to talk too much about a mate of yours who went through it, but you mentioned Bradley, and the night that he and his wife lost their baby, it was a state game, and you were playing for South Australia that night. Were you aware of what might have been, or was it just a joyous occasion for him at the time he's left?
No. Well, he went in the middle of it. He caught the red eye, I think. Yeah, Donna rang at 4 or something, and he said, "I'm going into labour," and went to hospital. So Braddles, I think, was on the 6 or 7 o'clock flight the morning of the game. So we got the game and found out what had happened. He'd gone home. So yeah, you know, it was a pretty tough time.
So you played that game in the knowledge of what had happened to him back?
Basically.
Yeah.
You know, the tragedy happened a bit after that, yeah, so later that day.
The group of South Australians that had come through and played state footy, a few of them had gone by then. I know that McGuinness and McDermott had stopped playing state footy by that stage, but I'm sure they would have been at Footy Park that night in various roles. And I can just imagine that group that you came through with, playing for the South Australians, would have been a pretty tight group as well.
Yeah, well, we all were. You throw Platts and Motts and, you know, the Jarman boys as well. I mean, we played a lot of state footy together since junior times. The old, you know, the SAP SARS, it was the South Australian primary schools, you know, played with all those guys.
That's amazing.
Went right through the schoolboys, state schoolboys, under 16s, Tool Cup, and then we all probably played our first state games together in around about 82 and 83. So we've been through a lot together, yeah.
Where's home for you now? Like, are you still South Australian at heart, or have we Victorianised you?
Well, I'm always a South Australian. I was in the SA box recently.
You've got rid of this though, which is encouraging.
Yeah,
that's the first sign that you're sort of becoming one of us, or
well,
certainly not one of them anyway.
I've gradually just been inching it up, you know, so hopefully no one will notice.
No,
I thought, and now that I'm getting into that elder statesman area of my mid-30s, I suppose you'd call it, I just sort of start better looking, you know, a bit like the normal 35-year-old.
Well, it was an icon. I mean, you know, the hair was a masterpiece, not to be. It's like the Sistine Chapel of VFL, AFL footy, and
yeah, I've copped it over the years about that, haven't I?
The voice and the hair.
I've always thought by the time I've actually taken off, we'll probably be back in the mud flap. It'll be back in the next few years, and it'll be gone. I'll be out of time again.
No, that can never come back. Again, like you're singing, those sorts of crimes against humanity should be remembered, but never to be revisited.
Locked away, You know, it is a South Australian look. You need the Andersons, Kernahans and that.
Well, needs the sort of bad goatee to go with it. You know,
I'm trying to catch up to you Melbourneites, but I'm still a South Australian and always will be, but my home's been here. You know, I'm here at Moonee Ponds here now, and I've been in Melbourne for 14 years now. Yeah. And I'm 4 k's from the footy club, and you know, I love it round here. And
obviously not doing too much running to the footy club these days, either.
I know, I used to. Jeez. I'm happy in the car now.
It's been great talking to you today. Thanks for having us in the Moonee Ponds abode, and good luck with the future.
Good on you, Andrew. Thanks, mate.
This program is brought to you by Harvey Norman.
Hello and welcome to the first of our big Sunday night AFL replays. Victoria may be footy's home state, but South Australia can rightly lay claim to producing some of the game's best. Today, Waverley would see one of the state's finest exports in Craig Bradley play his 300th match for the Carlton Football Club. Ironically, Bradley started his career on the same ground against the same opposition way back in 1986. Unfortunately for Bradley, the Hawks had a 6-goal win that day, but today the Blue Boys were determined to give their skipper a big win and go home with the 4 points.
99 explodes in a premiership spin. We're rocking through to the millennium. Coast to coast, the cream of the crop. Boys, serve it up, give us one with the lot. Got me turned on, players kick through the sky. AFL at 7, now it's hot inside. Come on now, don't it feel good? Wow, we're gonna rock the world. We're gonna have big fun. When you hear the siren, well, you know the party's on. We're gonna rock the world. Yeah, let's light it up. Gonna make you feel alright. We're gonna rock the world. Rock the world.
It's round 14 and Hawthorn trying to come back from a bad loss last week to Port Adelaide, and Carlton trying to celebrate the 300th game of Craig Bradley, and accompanied onto the ground today by his children Casey and Jake. Only the 35th player to achieve this major milestone, and only the third Carlton player to achieve it behind John Nichols and Bruce Dill. So congratulations to Craig Bradley this afternoon. As I said, a major milestone for him, but of course it's not really much good, Mick, unless they can take home the bacon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Peter, but what an important game this is for both clubs. I know Carlton, in terms of milestones for their players, they really try to bond together and make it a victorious one for that player.
You played on Bradley, I'm sure, many times.
A number of occasions, and I think the one reason why he's survived at this level for so long is because he's got that ideal combination of speed and endurance. That's the reason why he's such a great player.
300 games today, as I said, the 35th player to achieve the milestone. Let's check the Hawthorn side now. They're the home team, the Hawks. A bad loss against Port Adelaide last week. A plus for them. Paul Salmon taking his place in the side. Robin, Smith and Barlow also coming in.
Yeah, Pete, you spoke about Paul Salmon and what an important role he'll be asked to play for Hawthorn. Naturally pitted against Matthew Allen, a very good ruckman for Carlton. But I think Nick Holland up forward, he'll have to really take 10 or 12 marks today and kick his 3 or 4 goals to give Hawthorn an opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised to see number 24, Trent Crode, push forward to be an extra goal kicker as well.
They could certainly do with it, because both sides have had trouble kicking goals during the course of the year. Let's check the Carlton side now. They've also made changes. Backwell was out with a hamstring. Whitehead, a late omission. Into the side, Lock, Massey and Hogg.
And Silvani, he's an interesting one today. I don't think he's really got a opponent to play on if he plays defence. I wouldn't be surprised if Parkin actually pushes him forward and plays from full forward. Pearce might play alongside him in that part of the ground, but in the midfield, the real hard-nosed approach in Ratton and Brown, they'll try to give first access to the ball to the likes of Camporelli and Murphy to supply their forward line. And I'm tipping Carlton out here at Waverley merely because of the Bradley factor.
Well, they have got a very good recent record against Hawthorn. There's Matthew Allen. The Carlton side has won 9 of their last 10 encounters against Hawthorn, so the Hawks certainly in recent times have history against them. There's Joel Smith back into the Hawthorn side today, formerly of course of St Kilda. I wonder who's going to get the job on Bradley. Peter McKenna joins us in commentary. Paul Couch on the boundary line. We'll cross to them shortly, but first we'll take a break from Waverley. Here yesterday for Richmond and St Kilda, and another good crowd for Hawthorn and Carlton this afternoon at Waverley. Expected top of 17 degrees. Peter McKenna would be itching to be out there. Good afternoon, Mac.
Oh, to turn back the clock, Pete.
Yes.
And, well, that's a long time ago, but I'm certainly looking forward to this match. I think two very evenly matched teams, Carlton and Hawthorn. Probably Hawthorn have the edge in speed, I would think, out at this ground, but over the years you'd say Carlton have done very, very well against the Hawks.
9 out of 10 last meetings. Paul Salmon, a plus. He was under an injury cloud. He was injured in the first few minutes against Port Adelaide. Let's find more about the teams from the boundary. Paul Couch, good afternoon.
Thanks, Peter, and it's a beautiful day down here. It's a little bit of breeze to the right of screen, probably 2 or 3 goals. The ground's very heavy in some parts, so fresh legs are going to be very important at the end of the game, but I must congratulate Craig Bradley on 300 games. See, Mick, what happens when you don't drink a smoke and become a champion like him? Thank you, Peter.
You are a complete idiot, Couchy.
Well, we know that anyway.
Unbelievable.
Thanks, boys. Beautiful day down here. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations to Craig Bradley. There's another veteran on screen, Paul Salmon. 282nd game. Will he get to the magical 300? He plays next year. One would certainly hope that he would achieve that. And I think John Blackie's about next in line to do that if he plays every other game this year for the Kangaroos. Anyway, the Hawks and Carlton from Waverley. The Blues to the right. Paul Couch says favoured by a 2 to 3 goal breeze. Hawthorn keen to bounce back after their inglorious display against Port Adelaide last week. Conditions certainly much better. Allen gets the first tap, albeit not very far, and we will see a ball up. Interestingly, yesterday, Mick, the umpires threw the ball up all day. It'll be, well, interesting to see what they're going to do here.
Yeah, it certainly kept the ball flowing fairly regularly. It's interesting to see Silvani's actually started full forward with Pearce out of the goal square, as we intimated, Pete.
Ratton gets it to Allen, past Bradley, Crawford, also a fumble, gets a second and third chance, Crawford, handballs it the wrong way, Massey taken down by Colliker in the tackle, still gets the kick up towards Carlton's left half forward line. Silvani starting an attack, Hay has the job on him, and it's all tied up in Carlton's left forward pocket. We'll see a ball up.
Yeah, what an interesting start. Salmon's actually started full forward. There he is on screen. He's opposed to Glenn Manton. Thompson started in the ruck on Matthew Allen. And also another couple of interesting matchups. Koutafidis has got the job on Holland, and Sexton is picking up Crummell.
The ball at half forward with Fraser Brown. He tries to get it to Camporelli. Now, how will the umpire see that? In fact, no free kick and the ball is out and over the line. So no scorers yet. Two great rivals, particularly during the 80s and early 90s. There's Thompson, who, as we said, is starting in the ruck. And Woods laying a heavy tackle there on Fraser Brown.
Let's go to Paul Couch. He's got the benches for us.
For Hawthorn, Jonathan Robram, John Hassel, Aaron Lord, Chris Barlow, and for Carlton, Matthew Lappin, Damien Locke, Matthew Hogg and Aaron Hamill.
Allen and Thompson. Brown working hard again, and also holding the ball. Gee, that was tough. That was very, very tough. Woods gets it out to Jonathan Hay, a scrambly sort of a kick. Camporelli breaks the tackle. That was good play. Brings it in towards half forward. Whitnell couldn't mark. Taylor almost threw that away. Crawford's there. Now Whitnell's caught. And so a lot of pressure on. Kicked off the ground by Taylor. Here's Colliker. Colliker drives it to centre wing.
McKay in front takes the mark. Chick caught out of position. Terrific crowd. Northerly breeze today. Slightly favouring the right-hand end. Pearce always seems to fire up against Hawthorn. Bradley, first kick, game number 300. How many will he amass today? Thompson played very, very well when he was moved to full forward against St Kilda a couple of weeks back, especially in that third term. He's got across the ground for the kick. That's okay. Graham. First few minutes vital. Need to kick it or get rid of it. He does. To Vandenberg. Gets it back again. Smith. Now a chance for Lekas. Leading tackler in the competition. Mark certainly should have been taken down there for Hawthorn. Chick makes amends. Oh, gee, a few mistakes. It's comedy of errors almost at the moment. Koutafidis could have given away a free kick. Taylor may have given away a free kick and has. So both sides trying to find their feet. Rice Long looping handball. Still no score. Allen's kick up towards centre wing. What can Crawford do with it? He had an attack of the fumbles before on the other flank. Oh, he's turned it over as well. Let's stop the clock and start again, boys.
Well, that's dreadful skill errors been made by both sides early in this game. Camporelli and McCabe. Well, McCabe showed a bit of pace then. He's got 2 to beat. Well played, McCabe, to allow Crow to give it to Harford. Why would he give it back? Well, they've got away with it. Thompson, Crawford, and that's better play, better skill, as he's found Taylor 45 metres from goal. Now he's wanting to give it across, kicks it about 7 metres in my book. Now why would he? I don't know. He's kicked it to Holland, who wouldn't be as good a kick as him.
Arguably.
Well, I'd say Taylor's a better kick, longer kick than Holland, wouldn't he be, Mick?
Yeah, it'd be much of a muchness, Pete. I just think they're trying to share the ball around in this early stage of the first quarter. Holland's such an important player to get into the game early.
Well, here's Holland kicking for goal, and he's to the right. Now, I reckon he definitely lost distance kicking that ball across the ground. He was going to kick from about 45 metres, Taylor.
And there's some interesting matchups in midfield, Pete, just as we wait for Bradley to bring this ball in out of full back. McCabe's on Camporelli on centre wing. Taylor and Ratner doing battle in the centre of the ground. Murphy on screen. He's been matched up by Leckers. Brown and Woods, they're assigned to each other as a ruck rover. And Bradley and Crawford, they're running on each other as genuine rovers.
Pearce and Colliker. Pearce does well on the Whitnell. Beautifully delivered. Whitnell outside 50. Kicks into the man of the mark after he tried to play on. Crow does likewise. That'll be out of bounds on the full. No, it won't. Taylor very nearly put it out. And it will be a throw-in. Left half forward for Carlton. The Hawks with just the one behind on the board. Kicked by Holland. The kick was interesting from a point of view too, because it did travel a fair bit. He kicked it from outside 50. So it looks as though they're going to be able to score goals at both ends. Brown had it, lost it. Tackled by Woods, effective. That's out of bounds and a throw-in. So no great skill seen in the game so far. Tony Woods I saw a couple of weeks back against Tony Brown from St Kilda. Brown cut Hawthorn to pieces in the first half with 20 possessions. Against Woods in the second half he got 3. Thompson and Allen. Crawford burrows in, tackled by Massey. Might get a free kick, Crawford, he will. Bradley stands the mark. 2 of the great possession gatherers in the competition nowadays. Crawford averaging something like 27 a match. Good mark, Koutafidis. He'd almost put that down as an uncontested grab.
Isn't it a delight to see Koutafidis in full flight, back in his own judgment and actually attacking the footy when the footy's in flight.
Crode. Could have given away a free kick there. Crode gets it back from Crawford. There's a free kick here, might be going Hawthorn's way.
Yeah, head high back to Crode against Bradley. So important when you've got the opportunity to tackle, you must go at the hips. Bradley went too high on that occasion. There was the right hand over the head region of Crode, hence the free kick.
And bad luck for the Hawks then, because I think the mark had been taken by Holland after Crode kicked it. So Crode from half back will probably hug the boundary line. He does. So pack of players fly for it. It comes over the back. So a real Indian arm wrestle at the moment. Both sides sorting themselves out. There's David Parkin, a very emotional coach, and on his left and on right of screen is Barry Richardson, former Great Richmond defender. Started as a centre forward, Barry. Now, Mick, this will be an important clash. Woods picking up Fraser Brown.
Yeah, it certainly would be in the midfield. Woods is a noted negator. Brown, as we know, is real in and at it, hard at it. He's got to get a lot of the footy for Carlton. Be interesting to see the two coaches, Parkin, of course, of Carlton, Judge of Hawthorn. They know each other exceptionally well through the success of the 1995 season. Throughout the course of the day, you'll see a fair amount of accountability because both coaches really prefer to go with that option.
Allen, a terrific hit out. Quick hand pass was from Taylor, but Rock couldn't control it. And 1 point only scored in this match, and it's just tight and hard. And packs have been developing. We'll watch it again as we see Thompson and Allen Thompson, well, Allen's got that advantage in height. He gets it to Ratton to Murphy. Murphy has it smothered by Chick. Oh, good play, Andrew Mackay. He kicks long at the goals. Oh, good mark, Whitnell. Running back to the flight. He's marked 5 metres out. Great play, Andrew Mackay.
Yeah, and that is very, very attacking, rebounding defence. Mackay, as we know, if the footy's in his way, in his line, he'll certainly run straight at it. That's what he does best. Whitnell took a very well-judged mark in the goal square.
So the first goal of the game, kicked by Whitnell.
It's 9 minutes.
Yeah, good start to the Blues. Rice was involved in that build-up also. But Mackay, he's such an important player across half-back. There he is on screen. Won't get many tougher in the game than Andrew Mackay. Good hands there in tight. But here's Mackay. Good shepherd there by Rice. He was the player that gave the space for Mackay to run into, and that is a very good fingertip mark by Whitnell. What an important role that is between two young players, Crode and Whitnell, across the half-forward line for Carlton.
Whitnell's 22nd goal of the year, runner-up in the club best and fairest last season. And the youngster, Thompson and Allen, again, neither gets an effective tap away. Crawford dragged off the football, didn't have it, will get a free kick. He's gone short. Woods around Bradley. Taylor and Ratton. Good mark. Ratton and Pearce always seem to fire up against Hawthorn, as they do against other clubs as well, but they seem to save some of their better efforts for the brown and gold. Chick's taken the mark, but the kick will have to be taken again. You'd reckon from there Taylor too far out to score. Salmon, the target in the goal square, nearly. Bradley rushes it behind.
Yeah, very good composure. No doubt Bradley had the option to take on Rock, but played the percentage thing, conceded 8 behind, but good defence there by Manton. Just got off the body of Salmon to punch cleanly.
Leckers at the back of Murphy. He's back quickly to pick it up. Gets dragged. Oh, no free kick. Taylor. McCabe fumbles. Well, if Hawthorn are going to win the match, their ball handling's going to have to improve. There might be a free kick downfield here. What's happened? Or is it going to be taken back where it occurred? It'll be a free kick to McCabe. By Brian Sheehan adjudicating. Let's see what happened there. He was taken high in the act of kicking. So McCabe will get the free kick from a fair way out of goal. Hawthorn still goalless. He's about 50 or 60 metres. Kick and a half away, you'd reckon, from goal against the Breeze. Salmon at the back. Manton. Sexton goes for the boundary line. Won't quite find it. Camporelli mops up well. Not a great kick. Gee, some of the skills today have been lacking, haven't they? Smith on the left snaps but misses one behind. So the Hawks still can't notch a major.
Yeah, just the wrong option there by Scott Camporelli. Usually he's very cool and composed in that part of the ground on deciding what to do. On that occasion, it was an errant kick. Certainly favoured the Hawthorn forwards. Isn't it great to see Joel Smith? He's starting to get back that evasive, cool head that he's got when he played at the Halcyon Times with St Kilda. And he's not far away from getting back to the Joel Smith we know.
And that magnificent balance too, Mick, isn't it?
Yep, for sure, Couchy.
This is Dean Rice in the back pocket, receiving that kick in from Craig Bradley, playing game number 300. Beaumont and Mark Graham. Anthony Rock.
Good tackle.
He dives in on top of it. And, well, there's a lot of packs developing because both sides very, very desperate. An important game for both teams.
And Pete, I think it's very important from Hawthorn's point of view to try to separate Carlton's midfield, especially in these tight clinches, try to give himself some space from some area to run in.
Here's Sexton, who's playing at centre-back, back to Bradley. Bradley goes to Camporelli. Camporelli, very quick
Hickmott's
play.
out too.
Well, he drives to the centre of the ground. He finds Adrian Hickmott. Here's Murphy with a long raking kick. Silvani couldn't mark. He goes to ground. Jonathan Hayes there with Crode. Look at the speed of Crode. He comes through the middle. A terrific kick to Leckers. On to McCabe. McCabe Oh, it was a bad kick by McCabe. It missed their mark. It's socked away by Manton. And it'll head for the boundary line. The kick was meant for the Hawthorn player in Brendan Crummell. But gee, just so important, Mick, if you come away with the ball under no pressure that you hit your man.
Unforced errors certainly destroy you in the modern game, Pete, as you know.
Halfway through the first quarter and just the one goal on the board to Carlton. Crawford again. Crawford and Bradley getting plenty of touches. Thompson steams out from goal. Couldn't take it. Vandenberg's hand pass gets it back to Thompson around McKay. Snaps. They're still goalless. Another minor score.
He's showing some promise though, Nathan Thompson, isn't he?
Well, he's gone to full forward now. Salmon back into the ruck.
Salmon started at full forward. And Thompson did a lot of the work early. Now they've changed them around. We've got the huddle at half back or half forward. It's almost a melee. Rice kicks in. The big fish, well, he misjudged that as well. They haven't all been to that 40th birthday party, have they, Mick? That's 50 metres.
Oh, a bit soft.
Peter, just with that wind out there, it is very swirly, so it's going to make it very difficult for blokes to hit their targets. I must give them that excuse, but it is a bit scrambly the game at the start.
Hang on, they're AFL players. Couchy.
Well, I'm trying to reason why they're actually making so many mistakes, Pete.
Couchy, is the wind actually favouring any end?
Well, it is to the right, but it is swirly, Mick. At the start of the game, I reckon the wind's just changed a little bit to go across the ground.
Well, McCabe will be brought into point-blank range. You don't miss it from there.
I reckon he was a bit stiff, Carlton player then. We'll get 50 for that.
Matthew Allen.
McCabe. Oh, he has missed. That is atrocious.
I suppose it was that swirling wind again.
Yeah, you call it in one, Pete.
you don't miss it from there.
Oh, goodness me. 20 metres out, and he's missed it by a mile.
It's not good enough.
So the ball in the back pocket with Nelson. Nelson brings it to the centre of the ground, centre wing I should say. Here's Graham and another pack forms. I've seen plenty of these packs, Mick.
Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of packs in this early stage of the game. It's just amazing when Hawthorn are obviously being the hunter at this stage. Carlton are the hunted. They can control their starting points.
Centre wing, the ball heading back towards Leckers, who's been a fantastic player. He'd be leading their best and fairest, he and Crawford. Look at this kick by Leckers, a terrific kick, almost a mark, not paid. Manton gets it further afield and the kick comes out towards, and was that Nelson who kicked it? I'm just looking for those hunters and the hunted out there.
The reason why I say that, Pete, is because McCabe's playing on Camporelli, Taylor's going with Ratton, Leckers is going with Murphy, Woods is going with Brown, and Crawford and Bradley, they're basically playing a conventional Rovers role. So wherever your direct opponent goes, you'll follow.
Now there's Barlow with a quick little give. But again, the pack forms and it's held in there. A point the margin, not much scoring going on. Well, Hawthorn have had plenty of chances.
You're right there, Mick, though. It is like Hawthorn are hunting them, and Carlton need to give themselves some more space to work in.
Yep, for sure.
So Allen getting his hand to plenty. Murphy to Massey to Bradley. And will it come back? It'll have to come back. And the kick is with Murphy at half back for the Blues.
1 point the difference. Murphy at right half back, bombs it long, centre wing, marking contest. Graham at the back reads it best. Confronted by Rice, still gets the kick in up towards half forward. Smith takes it from Leckers. Hawks need an option down at full forward. Good punch away by Manton, who's been fantastic so far. He's beaten Salmon and everybody else they've put down there to date. 7.5 minutes remaining in the term. Manton contests the boundary throw-in. Rice, Hickmott, Bradley. Doing a lot of useful work in defence so far in the first quarter. The 300 gamer. Trode on a lead. Graham at half forward, it's Leckers. He can kick the ball long. He's done just that. And finally the Hawks have broken the ice. Well, if you're going to nominate somebody to kick their first goal, it probably wouldn't have been Angelo Lekas, would it?
He's a good player, Mick, this guy.
Yeah, he just works extremely hard, Pete. Very fit player. Poor kick by Bradley out of defence. Just did not kick the ball to the advantage of Crode. And that's very good turnover football from the Hawthorn team. Once they won possession across centre wing, they went into the corridor, used the ball short to break up play, found Lekas, who had some space to play on with, and kicked accurately for goal.
Hawthorn by 5 points, and I think also in that incident we saw the pace of Crode to get to that mark. He's one of the quickest players in the competition. Here's Beaumont. Beaumont drives to full forward. Pearce underneath it. Over the back, Whitney put it on the ground, then tapped it away. Woods tried to tap it back. Fraser Brown tried to get a free kick. Umpire Harvey wouldn't have a bar of that. Lekas is there with McCabe. Now he tried to gain distance, so the umpire correctly allowed that. And it'll be a throw-in about 35 metres around from the Blues goal.
With a guest appearance by Alfred Hitchcock and the cast of the Birds. 1 million seagulls there. They just went scattering.
So Salmon with the left hand goes for the fist. Camporelli. Fraser Brown just slipped over. Ratton. Pearce. Now Salmon. Oh, he's got to get rid of it. He does. Graham. Good tackling by the Blues. Jonathan Hay crashes his way through the pack. That was good football by the defender. And he put it, gained about 35 metres.
Yeah, magnificent attack on the loose ball by Hay. He made it his own. Very cool head to get the ball out of that area. Good play.
6.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Just the 2 goals scored. And we thought it might have been hard to score goals today. So far, that's proved to be the case. 3 to Hawthorn against, or 2 Salmon. The advantage taken by McCabe. Up the half forward, Crummell.
Oh.
Again, not a great kick. Makes it easy for Koutafidis and hard for the forwards. Sexton back to Bradley. He'll get a better hand pass than that during the day. Gets around Holland.
Good kick.
Murphy. Lekas late on the scene.
Allen's on too on centre wing.
Sees him. Easiest mark he'll take all day. To half forward. Tony Woods does well. That's a better kick. Allen confronts Lekas. Chance for the Blues to go forward. Mark taken by Camporelli from Sexton's kick. Fickle bounce. Colliker, good tackle on Pearce. Scatters the Seagulls again, out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a free kick to the Hawks in the last line of defence to be taken by Daniel Harford.
Yes, and down the other end 2 minutes ago, I mean, again, a poor skill error by Crummell when he really...
When he kicked it straight to Koutafidis.
He kicked it straight to 2 Carlton guys. Well, you just can't afford that at this level of football. There's Salmon already. Allen finding it a lot more difficult against Salmon because it's a free kick to the Blues. But Salmon getting that front position with his experience. It was a free kick. It was a high tackle.
He got a boot in the face accidentally, I think, when he was on the ground. Let's take a look at it.
Camporelli and right across the head. So correct decision by the umpire. Scott Camporelli. The Blues forward line, that's their big worry. If they can kick enough goals. The kick is in towards half forward and it's straight to Nick Holland. Oh, gets smothered that hand pass. Shane Crawford. Danger. Oh, good play by Woods to flick it over the back. Here's Koutafidis. Now Chris Massey centering the ball, but Crawford has gone back and saved the day for the Hawks. He's got a loose man on out wide, but Bryce is racing back to make a contest. Good mark though by Barlow. He wants to play on. Yeah, he wisely elects not to. But Barlow, he kicks to a contest, no mark, and flicks off fingers and over the line.
Certainly skill-wise, not the greatest game we've seen this year. Couch said the wind has a little bit to do with it. That's 1 point. Holland in front. Ratton. Dual best and fairest winner at Carlton. 2-on-2 contest in front of goal. The Blues have only got one on the board so far. Hay A good turn of speed to get clear of Massey, the two number 3s, the two young guns. He too has turned it over to Sexton in front of Robin. Well, the pattern continues. Silvani chasing kicks up on the wing. Sauce's kick, he too has turned it over, but Salmon couldn't complete the mark on that occasion. Crowd, Allen races into goal, has a bounce, is caught, great tackle, Harford!
Yeah, terrific chase and tackle by Harford. The poor awareness there by Matthew Allen. Surely he'd be aware that there would be a chaser.
Well,
Just got to understand the game in terms of knowing what you've got to do when you're running into goal.
Well, where were the voices of his teammates, Mick? That's the question we have to ask, I guess. Woods kicks to Chick. Murphy's nearly got him. Smith. McKay tries to give chase. Really low pass. Clean bowls about 3 or 4. Blues defence is resolute so far. Rice.
Good kick.
That's beautifully done to Hickmott.
Centre of the ground, Allen.
On his own. He'll be keen to make amends with the breeze. Can he kick it from there? Low trajectory. Well, his nemesis, Harford, takes the mark in the goal square. He was the man who caught him, and he was penalised subsequently for holding the ball. Good shepherd around Silvani, but only just. The Seagulls scatter again. Pearce and Koika. Pearce has got it with the left. He too has missed. What else would you expect today? One behind.
Geez, they're just making some fundamental mistakes in their decision-making. All players on the ground from both teams. That was a beautiful kick out of defence by Rice.
And I think the field kicking has been absolutely disgraceful for two AFL clubs. As we see Crow bring it out towards centre wing, it floats over the pack. It is breezy out there. Here's Robert, he's got to kick it quickly. He does. He gains about 25 metres and they've got it through McCabe. Now let's see what he can do. There's no one near him, so he's got no excuse now not to deliver it properly. That's a better looking kick in towards full forward. Chick, was he held? He's got it. Daniel Chick gives it back to Smith. He kicks into the man running towards him. Tapped on. Chick. Oh, he's missed. Oh, goodness me. They've had some chances, Hawthorn. And they've missed again. But some good teamwork there. As we have a look at Kenny Judge. Very animated Kenny Judge up the back. And the kick in comes in.
Nelson.
To Nelson.
Up towards centre wing. And a holding decision here. Rock's got the free. Now it's coming back to Colica. So, okay, no advantage. Now he gives it over to Rock. Up towards full forward and Chick. McKay takes it out of bounds. Does it effectively, so the defences of both sides have worked well.
You took the words out of my mouth. They've both got good defensive sides, haven't they?
Well, Mick and I said before the game that goals were going to be at a premium, and if you look at the scoreboard now, that's exactly the way it's turned out. It may prove to be different when they get a feel of the ground here in the windy conditions. Bradley, oh, beautifully done. No wonder he's played 300 games. Great skills. Up towards centre wing. Whitney couldn't take it. Crow, tackled by Allen. Did he have the footy? We have to ask that question. Woods off a step, kicks to half forward. Another turnover. It goes to Rice.
It's interesting to note, Pete, that Hawthorn have made 3 changes through midfield. Salmon's already gone back to full forward. Thompson's back onto Allen. Obviously, they're trying to double team him today.
Murphy to Whitnell. He can't quite make ground. It's out of bounds. He was a footy clinic last school holidays, Whitnell, and one of the kids got up and asked, he said, how come if you're 18 you look as though you're 30? I wonder who put him up to that.
He's got a smart head on young shoulders, there's no doubt about that.
He plays above his years. Gets the tap down there. Pearce, tackled by Rock. Pearce again. Nelson, oh no, he hit Hickmott. Ratton comes up with the footy. Mongrel punt off the boot. Silvani and Hay. Oh, they both stopped for that. Thompson's hand pass to Crawford. Farmed out well. Graham. Thompson. Can the Hawks set something up here? Thompson's kick up towards the big fish. Manton plays him in front. Free kick, Manton.
Playing good footy, Manton, today.
One of their best so far. It's why the hand pass. Allen covering plenty of territory.
Yes, out it comes to Beaumont. Beaumont brings it around to Whitnell and Crow. Now that'll be a great contest. Whitnell's a very clever player, as we were talking about. Crow definitely a huge edge in pace.
That's just disheartening, though, from a forward's perspective. Whitnell worked hard to get off Crowd, just the kick didn't find its target from Beaumont. You must use your mates further afield when you get the opportunity.
Well, I haven't seen anyone hit yet on the chest with a pass in this game. So the field kicking's been abysmal, in my opinion.
No arguments here.
Well, there's the siren to end the first quarter. It was a real Indian arm wrestle. Turnovers so far in the game, Carlton 15 and Hawthorn 13. That's very high, Mick.
Yeah, 28 turnovers in a game of footy, especially the first quarter, is very high, Pete, as you mentioned. Both coaches would be concerned with that aspect of the game, but both clubs are having a red-hot go, and that's all coaches can ask, because the winner of this game will no doubt keep their finals aspirations alive.
All right, so a substandard first quarter. Hawthorn leading by 5 points. We'll take a break from Waverley. Back shortly. Quarter begins at Waverley in blustery conditions. Almost as many seagulls as spectators. I'm being facetious, but we do have a low-scoring affair. Hawthorn 12 leading Carlton 7. Offences of both sides well on top in the first term. Fraser Brown kicks to half forward for the Blues. And we'll see another ball up just on the edge of the square.
And that's an interesting duel. Chris Massey and Daniel Hawthorn, they've been matched up against each other since the start of play. Massey is obviously just trying to drag Hawthorn out of the general play because he's a playmaker, very creative.
Salmon does well. Kicked off the ground by McCabe, albeit not very far, and then he applies a tackle. McKay comes in to do the same thing, and the ball up will take place just wide of the centre circle.
Also, it's interesting to have a look at Matthew Allen, Pete. He's pushing forward at every opportunity to make Salmon become a tall running defender.
Allen was very good in the first quarter and picked up quite a few touches around the ground. Whitnell, Carlton's only goal kicker. McCabe again applies a tackle. Ball jarred free subsequently. Lekas, Hawthorn's only goal kicker. Rock, oh, gee, was that too high? No, it wasn't. Not according to the umpire. It's a throw in. But he's pretty tough, Anthony Rock. Rock by name and by nature.
Between rock and a hard place there.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well, it was high, wasn't it? Looking at it on the replay, but the umpire on the wrong side to see that. That's what Jack Russo would have said anyway. McKay. Bradley. Another turnover. This time the big fish also approaching 300 games. Salmon kicks to half forward.
Oh, that's a free. Oh, I thought he wasn't going to pay it for a minute.
Had the sun in his eyes.
He didn't put his hands up, and I thought he's going to let this go. But it's a free kick to Hawthorn way out at half forward. It's Holland. It was a poor free kick given away.
Well, you watch the umpire. If we see a replay of that, you'll see he did have the sun in his eyes.
Is that what it was?
But I just think they're misjudging the wind down here. Look, it is very tricky. So I know it was a poor leap at the time, but it just seemed to be misjudging some of the players, the wind, and what effect it's had on the ball.
So
thank you from the president of the Players Association down there, Paul Couch.
I'm just trying to save him, Nick. But I've got one interesting comment. But Brendan Crummell has come off the ground and he has had a jab in his ankle. He has been crooked during the week, and things don't look good for Brendan Crummell.
We think all your comments are interesting down there, Couchy. As we see Holland kicking for goal, it's going to be close. Salmon, almost marked it and kept it in, and now Manton is going to kick it around the boundary line, but it's waiting for it. Is Vandenberg. He's got it, slips, he's got to dodge, weave, slips again, still got it, brings it up in front of goal. The pack is there, and that's a good mark taken by Matthew Allen.
Certainly the best big man on the ground at the moment. McKay to Camporelli. Carlton out of danger again. Graham hasn't been paid. Nelson past Vandenberg, kicks to centre wing. Taylor up and under kick. Robran, Salmon need a crummer. They haven't got one. Carlton has in Camporelli. Graham knocks it back whence it came. Manton again. He's been about the best defender on the ground today. He's had plenty to do.
Pete, I've just noticed Lance Whitnell, even in this game here, has gone to ground too easily on 2 or 3 occasions. I think he needs to keep his feet if he's going to help Carlton out here at centre forward.
Yeah, good point, Couchy.
Particularly on Crowd, who can run off you and gain ground very quickly.
So a bounce. Yesterday they threw it up all day, so the ground a little bit better than it was for St Kilda and Richmond. Hickmott to his fellow Redhead and Whitnell, who marks it right half back.
So Lance Whitnell, a long way from the centre forward position, chips it across to Fraser Brown. Brown is playing on the left foot. towards the half-forward area. Messi is harassed and has forced the ball over the line. Very low-scoring game. 5 points the margin. Hawks in front. But a really important game for both sides. So again, Salmon to take on Allen. Salmon's been getting front position. This time Allen won it and flicked it over the back to Pearce, who proceeds to put it over the line. Again under pressure. And it's a penalty kick down here to Richard Taylor. So Taylor getting closer around towards centre wing. It's a floating wobbly kick. Crawford couldn't control it. And is that out in the full? It is a kick out on the full. I feel this is a strange one. It's Nelson with the ball. The boundary umpire must have run the wrong way. Gee, that was, I couldn't see how that was out in the full, but still, the boundary umpire was there. Well played by Pearce to allow his teammate Ratton to bring it into Whitnell. Whitnell centres the ball. Danger for Hawthorn here. Beaumont flicked it over the back. Anthony Rock, what will he do? He'll race away with it and try and hug the boundary line. It'll be Crawford. And over the line, he wasn't too happy then, Shane Crawford.
And Carlton are just struggling to find a crumbing forward at this stage. Silvani is trying to get on the lead. Whitnell's providing a target across half forward, but they certainly need a crumbing type of player. Beaumont looks like he's coming off the ground. He will be replaced by Lappin, probably primarily for that role.
Well, here's Bradley marking at half forward, and every time he gets it, he does something with it. He gets it to Koutafidis, a little chip pass. Finds Camporelli.
Good running.
He's playing on to Sexton. Sexton goes short. That's better. Much better to Massey. And that time they've used the football properly.
It's just amazing, Pete, when you do bring the footy back in through the centre corridor, as you'd know, being a key forward, it gives the open side of the field space for you to lead into. And that's what happened on that occasion. Good transfer of play by Craig Bradley and good run by Sexton.
So Chris Massey, a chance to put the Blues in front. Oh, he's drifted this to the right, and he's missed also. So that ferocious breeze that Paul Couch told us about having its effect.
Well, I think goals kicked from any further out than 35 metres today will be at an even higher premium. Jonathan Hay is going to bring the ball back in. Famous name at Hawthorn full-back-wise, Phil Hay, who was runner-up in the Brownlow years ago, but no relation. Whitnell, or touch it. No, Craig couldn't do that, so it will be a free kick to Whitnell.
Looked to be a fair bit of extra carry on that kicking.
Yeah, wasn't it? Whitnell almost at centre wing. That's a real mongrel punt. Graham. Awkward off the boot, but it's okay to Crawford. So better disposal there. Joel Smith marking in front of Hickmott on right centre wing. Need to lead across half forward. He's got Anthony Rock, second grab. Marks in front of Rice. Two little bookends there.
Well, that was a very difficult mark. That ball was really floating.
Woods in short to Thompson, who marks. Looks a lot like Alex Schenko, doesn't he?
Yeah, younger version for sure. And Thompson is a very good kick for goal, Pete. No doubt he'll probably aim for that left-hand goalpost and try to bring the ball back to the middle of the goals, but he's a very good kick for a tall player.
Kicked 7 goals, 7 this year. He's coming back, but not enough, and he has now kicked 7 goals, 8 for the year.
And I think that's annoying when you're a forward and you kick to the right spot and the breeze had it just cut through the breeze and went straight as a die.
Certainly did.
So Craig Bradley to bring it in. Still just the 2 goals. You saw the score and you're watching from another ground, you'd think it was a very muddy affair.
Yeah, so he's after the huddle. Chris Massey, who runs a little bit like Silvani. Oh, he's got troubles. He then knocks it on. Lappin's on the ground. Finds Nelson. To centre wing, well done by Whitnell. And the hand pass, did it go over or has Murphy got it? No, he's allowed. Murphy into Mackay, who kicked a great goal in the first term. On to Pearce, he's gone. Gets it into Mackay. Conacher Copland round the head, and he's got the free kick the first time and would have got the second one. Dangerous, but it'll come off. Jonathan Hay running away from Silvani. Still running away from Silvani. Great play, he might go. No, he got the handball in to Robert. Good play. Oh, look at this for football. Well played, Jonathan Hay. They deserve a goal here. Thompson has it dumped away. Lappin, gee, that's exciting when a defender runs. Shades of David Dench in the 1970s. Here's Dean Rice into half forward, and the skill's improving now. Murphy, Whitnell, Murphy again. Murphy, a low trajectory kick is a great kick. Beautiful kick, finds Pearce.
Interesting to see the second efforts now of Silvani and Hay, because the ball was probably going to that area.
Pearce into Camporelli. He's dropped the mark. This is Conacher. He'll drive it out of the danger area.
Crawford in front of Whitnell. Saw Harford. He's gone a little bit further. Holland needs to get into the match. Great catch. Both the Holland boys showing some pretty good form in the last few rounds. Manton again. Back to his judgment. Comes out from the fence. There's a nest of blues out there. Koutafidis, Bradley. Bradley will try to give it to Koutafidis. No, he won't. Kouta provides the shepherd. Bradley on the boundary line. Kicks it long. Graham. Over to McCabe. McCabe at midfield. Looks for and finds Tony Woods marking in front of Brown. Leaders on. Robrin leaves it for Crawford. Too far out to score there, so he goes in short. Robin's moved downfield for him. Now, shots from this distance today have been just about impossible with the wind. There's Taylor on his own. That's Thompson. He was a little bit too slow. Now, the Robins traditionally are big kicks, so one would suggest he'd get the distance, but the accuracy here, well, it's difficult today. Strong northerly, just 2 goals kicked. 11 minutes have gone in the second quarter. Hasn't kicked that one either. One behind. Kicked by Jonathan Robrin.
Well, all the South Australians will tell you that his father, Barry Robrin, not only was the best footballer, if you listen to them, the best footballer in South Australia ever, one of the best ever in the history of the game. Now here's Beaumont. Beaumont from centre wing, props and then kicks to the half-forward line. Crode and Whitnell. It's forced to the line. Crode looking up at the umpire for a free kick and didn't get it. 6 points.
Fraser Brown just come off and Tony Woods off also. John Hassel on with Matthew Hogg, so they're swapping player for player.
Yep, one-on-one accountability all over the ground, Couchy. And that's the reason why it's a bit of an arm wrestle at this stage.
I reckon it's playing into Hawthorn's lap here, Mick. I just think Carlton need their space to work in. Murphy, Ratton needs a bit of space, and Bradley just to use their skills and hurt Hawthorn. I just think they're playing into their hands at the moment.
There's Fraser Brown in the dugout. Salmon, that was fantastic tap out to Taylor. He is a good ruckman, Paul Salmon. Well done by Holland. Smith, one of the best players in the AFL to watch. Look at that. Geez, a good player. He's a class player. An ordinary hand pass that might come off. Hassel back to Smith. They're good mates. And Smith's gone. That's holding the ball. Oh, no, too high.
Too high.
Too high or too low? Which was it?
Too high.
Anyway, McKay didn't like it. Let's see what did happen. He slipped and then was caught round the neck. Now, here's Johnny Hassel kicking from outside 50, but the mark dropped down there by Allen. And then eventually Nelson takes it through.
Must be about 30 minutes before anybody scored there, boys. I think it's nearly a quarter before anybody's actually kicked a goal.
And once Fraser Brown come off the ground, Matthew Hogg went straight to Shane Crawford. He's obviously got the negating roll on him, so that's allowed Bradley free. He'll probably be picked up by John Hassel.
Nelson kicks into the outer side. And it's Carlton free kick here.
Lucky one.
Beaumont.
Just for the moment, Pete, I don't think Carlton looked like generating any run through the lines. Camporelli, Murphy, as Couchy spoke about, they're being watched very closely. They've just got no flow into their game.
Massey on to Camporelli. They can get something going here. Hay and Silvani. Vandenberg. Camporelli in the road. Likewise, Bradley. Now they need a mark here. Oh, Whitnell might have... No, he's got the ball. He's got the mark. He jumped a bit early.
He jumped early basically to get rid of his opponent in the contest. That's fair enough. As you see here, he jumped early just to get rid of Crode in that marking contest. And that's the reason why this young player is a class act.
He's the only goal kicker for Carlton so far. 1-9 to 1-2. So it'll leave them a point down if he kicks it. That's how to do it, boys.
There's no doubt in Lance Whitnell's ability. He's second, Carlton second, the third for the game. Hawthorn, as you can see by the scoreboard, they have kicked very inaccurately for goal. 1 goal, 9. But Whitnell, he's been very good across half forward. It's been a good duel between Crode and also Whitnell at this stage. I've got no doubt Whitnell's got the honours. Crode, in terms of rebounding, he could become a vital player for Hawthorn as the game progresses.
Point the margin. Hawks in front. 11 shots to 4. Allen gets it out to Bradley. Bradley sockers it off the ground. Crode waits behind. Here's Barlow on to Crawford. Johnny Hassel, former Collingwood player. Good kick. A daisy cutter to Robran. He's probably enjoying it up forward. He's played most of his football in defence. Salmon, centre of the ground. The Barlow. Barlow, that's a better kick. And Holland will kick from 50 metres directly in front. And the distance shouldn't be a problem, the way they've been kicking at that end.
Distance won't be a problem.
Accuracy might. So Nick Holland, an important kick. They've got to start putting goals on the scoreboard because they've had most of the play, Hawthorn, and they haven't hurt Carlton. A very important kick coming up. A strong marking sent over. Kicks just outside 50. Will it clear the pack? No, it's marked. It's marked right on the line by Glenn Manton, who chips it across and finds Murphy. And Murphy ought to get back and kick instead of worrying about the man on the mark. Get back and kick it.
Good work by Carlton. They have to change direction here. Has to mark this ball, Allen. Oh, bad mistake.
Thompson pressuring in. Allen goes for the boundary line.
Deliberate.
Oh, gee. I'll tell you what, that's the rule they're hot on this weekend, obviously. We saw a few controversial ones at the MCG on Friday night. Salmon couldn't complete it. Mopped up by Hickmott. McKay, Murphy. Carlton's defence again standing firm. Good long penetrating kick to centre wing. Again, Whitnell went early. Barlow, who's been good since he came on. Barlow's disposal, showing some of his teammates how to do it. Now, what's Hay doing down there? Has he followed his man or has he been moved?
Silvani's actually gone back. Koutafidis has gone forward.
He's given it a decent old roost. They need a mark. The fish in front. Couldn't take it. He's outnumbered 3-1.
He's got no support there.
Nothing at all happening for Hawthorn down there. No crummers.
Here's Kuta.
McKay, Koutafidis. Chased by Robran. Koutafidis to half forward. Holt's got the drop on Crawford. That'll be interesting duel. Camporelli. Whitnell for his third. Point blank range. Runs in, goes bang and gets it.
Great build up, Carlton.
Well, at last we're getting some goals.
Peter, the beauty of that play was just the transfer from defence to attack, namely through the ball usage of Andrew McKay, who found Koutafidis. Parkin made that change. Silvani to go to centre-half back on Nick Holland. Koutafidis has now gone to full forward. He'll be picked up by Hay. But what a terrific kick into the path of Whitnell, who's very composed, got a cool head, kicked the ball low and flat at goal. And Hamill's come onto the ground to replace Lappin. He's the type of player that can provide the spark for Carlton also in their forward part of the ground.
The Blues lead by 5 points. Ratton. Tapped on by Hamill. Thompson, a very promising young player. Gets it to Graham. Hawthorn are failing up forward. Taylor, let's see what they can do this time. Well, I'll make a statement now. While you've got Ruckman resting at full forward, I reckon Ruckman ought to rest off the ground. But they've got to come up with a better forward structure, Hawthorn, or they're going to be in deep trouble.
He won the goal kicking 7 times at Essendon, Paul Salmon.
So the downside of that...
And the guy's now 33.
Valid point, Pete. As soon as tall players want to lead for the footy, they become slow players.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
You're better off kicking the ball to the front of the goal square and letting his height become the advantage.
Right. And then you've got to have a crummer at the bottom. Now, how will the umpire see that? Deliberate. Now, that was tough because he was facing away, and with a left hand, I reckon that was very, very tough then on McKay.
Jonathan Robin off.
Now, what's this? He turns. He's got to come back this way. He's on that side.
That's an unbelievable decision.
That was too tough. And he was a fair way from the line. Now, this is Leckers. Can he kick a miraculous goal? He's gone the banana kick. It's starting to swing back, but it sits up in the air, and then it's helped on its way for a behind.
One thing about Peter Schwab being the AFL, the umpires director, he's tried to give the umpires a type of football mentality in their training. In terms like that, there's nothing else Andrew McKay could do.
And it's a difficult handball on your left hand for a start, and an umpire should know that. There should not have been a free kick. Sexton down to half forward. Koutafidis and Hay. Koutafidis, he's obviously playing on the forward line now, Mick.
Yes, he's gone to full forward. Savani's gone back to centre half back.
Trent Crode's come off and Jonathan Robin on to Lance Whitnell.
Thanks, Couchy. We've got to throw it on centre wing. As I said, the hot rule this weekend is out of bounds on the full, so boys be warned, I guess. We've had a couple today, and we saw a couple yesterday here, Richmond and St Kilda. So, a boundary throw-in. Hogg on Crawford. A bumping jaw off camera. Leckers couldn't get a clean possession. Hamill's out there on the ball.
There's no doubt Ken Judge is going with that mentality of using the height in front of the goal square, but I wouldn't be surprised if either Salmon or Thompson are interchanged from the bench and Crowe goes to full forward knowing that he's off the ground.
Barlow to Leckers after Crawford got a free kick against Hogg. McKay, Vandenberg nearly pinned him. Vandenberg again, a little hand pass to Smith. Rock, you're covered. McKay did well. Lords on the ground. Still no one there for Hawthorn to kick a goal. Beaumont, now there's a free kick. It's a Hawthorn kick.
Yeah, Lord.
Holding the man. The footy just got out of his possession and he was just held far too long on the tackle by Sexton. There it is there.
Thrown to the ground.
A little bit stiff. Sexton actually knocked the ball out of Lord's hands in the tackle. He was on the blind side of him, so he couldn't see if the footy was actually in Lord's possession. He was held too long.
At last, a goal. Aaron Lord joins Angelo Leckers as goal kickers for Hawthorn, and the Hawks back in front by 2 points, 2-10 to 3-2.
Well, at this stage of the season, Aaron Lord now becomes the equal leading goal kicker for the Hawthorn Football Club this year. Daniel Chick, of course, has scored 20 goals this year. Aaron Lord leading into this game at 19. That's his first of the day, so that makes it 20. Interesting to see that Ken Judge decided to start him on the interchange bench. He can become a multiple goal kicker very quickly.
Yes, he's the goal sneak they need to kick 3 or 4, Aaron Lord. As we see Allen win that one to Koutafidis. On to Sexton. Sexton drives to half-forward. Robin fisted away. Quick kick. Comes down by Ratton. It might bounce through. Oh, they've got a good chance here. Pearce over his head. It's close. He's missed.
Can't afford to miss them.
It was a bit of a bread and butter one, really, wasn't it? Once he snaffled it
I
on
just
his
thought he
left.
tried to kick it too high, Pete.
And David Parkin not showing a lot of emotion, which is unusual for him.
Since Lord's come onto the ground, Nelson's gone back to a back pocket to pick him up. Koutafidis, interestingly enough, went to the centre bounce on that last centre clearance.
Oh, good mark, Jonathan Robin. Beautiful mark. Mark Graham's getting plenty of the ball. A clever kick by Graham. Out north, too slow to get rid of it, Crawford. He's lost it. Beaumont drives a low trajectory kick in towards Pearce. He's got some support here from Hamill now, the dangerous Koutafidis. Is that a mark? It is. No mark, said the umpire to Allen. I thought he marked that. Oh, we'd like to see that one again. No free kick. Now Pearce, a look away hand pass to Massey. Massey hooks it back in front of goal. Jonathan Hay has been very, very good. Off he goes, seven off the ground, and Mick McGuan, you're going to be a league coach because you've got your wish. Krog to full forward, and I've got my wish. As we see Bradley get it to McKay, down towards half forward Whitnall. He's a good player, Whitnall. Camporelli, dangerous here for the Hawks. Camporelli from a standing start in the back, surely.
Yep.
Thompson, the umpire paid the advantage.
Yep.
Thompson kicks to centre wing. Good play by the Hawks as they find Johnny Hassel.
Well, both teams throwing their sides around to try to get some drive out of the middle. Barlow, he started on the bench. That's a real hospital pass, if you could call it that. Up and under job. Beaumont shows the best judgment. Too tall. McKay out wide to Sexton. Sexton at right centre wing, looks for Hamill. Hayes there with him. Hamill, good mark. Hamill too started on the bench.
And what's your decision here, Pete? Is this a mark?
Yes. Definite mark.
Yes. Mark to me.
Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter what we think, does it? That could have been on the back, but it's not. It's a mark to Koutafidis. Graham pleading his case, but the umpire has made his decision and they don't change them.
Koutafidis has been fairly good in this game. Had a very good duel against Nick Holland across half-back. That's the flexibility of Carlton at times, knowing that Silvani can be thrown into the forward part of the ground. Koutafidis can have an impact in a short period of time there, but also can go to midfield or even centre wing to be an extra ball winner. He's a player that can run the lines also.
Won the club's goal kicking 2 seasons back, so he can kick goals, and he has done here. Carlton back in front. Only the Blues' second goal kicker behind Lance Whitnell, who's booted 3. Hawthorn just the 2. Aaron Lord this quarter. Angelo Lekos in the first term. Carlton by 5 points.
It's actually interesting to have a look at the inside 50s at this stage of the game. It's 29 to Hawthorn, 26 to Carlton. In the first quarter it was Hawthorn 17 to 13. In this quarter so far it's 12 to 13 Carlton's way. But overall you can just see in terms of who's controlling the footy, it's relatively even.
Back to the middle, 5 points the Blues lead by, getting close to half-time, just over a minute. So a goal either way here would be very important. Oh, Crawford knocks it away. But the Blues, Camporelli starting to get plenty of the ball. He brings it into half-forward. Whitnall having a really good game. And plays on quickly. He was looking for Pearce. Pearce hooking it back from the boundary line. A great attempt. Lappin back with the flight of the ball. Can't get there. And it rolls over the line with just under a minute till half-time.
You spoke about Camporelli. He's already had 13 possessions, Pete. He's had 6 this quarter, 5 and 1. But he's starting to get a fair amount of the footy and he uses it extremely well. Whitnall's had a big quarter. He's had 10 possessions and 4 marks from centre half forward. Terrific effort.
Yeah, great effort. Whitnall coming right back into his form of last year. The last couple of weeks he's been very, very good. So 5 points the Blues. Just half a minute to go until half-time. Thompson to do the ruck work against Allen. The last thing the Hawks would want is a goal to Carlton here. Allen did well to Ratton. Ratton kicks it. Goal. This might be it. Yes!
Big goal.
Great play from Allen to get it to Ratton.
And have a look at Brett Ratton's strength over the footy here.
That was a big goal, wasn't it?
Was it ever?
17 seconds to go.
Big margin in this game. You can't say it's blown the game wide open, but in the context of play, that is a big finish.
Look at the strength of Ratton in the tackle. He was still able to get the ball cleanly onto his boot and accurately towards the goal area. Very smart ruck work there from Allen, who tapped it into the path of Ratton, who got off his opponent in Taylor.
Can't expect to win games if you kick just 2 goals to half-time, so the Hawks up against it now after that goal by Ratton. Thompson, will he go off the ground? He will to half-forward. Finds Hickmott on the road. So Just seconds to the siren. And in fact, there it is, till half-time. Hawks have had the play, but the Blues have got the score on the board, and just towards the end of that quarter, probably looked the better side. And they go to the main break with a lead of 11 points. Just the 3 goal kickers. Whitnell has 3, Ratton 1, and what a valuable one it was just moments ago. And Kudafides 1 for Hawthorn, Neckers 1, and Aaron Lord 1.
Yeah, terrific quarter there by Carlton. A 16-point turnaround in their favour, mainly due to the work of Lance Whitnell across half-forward. He was terrific in that particular term.
So the Blues on top at half-time by 11 points. We'll take a break.
Tuesday on C7 Sport International Rugby action. Argentina clash with Wales in the first of 2 hard-fought test matches.
Triumphantly the try for Wales.
Wales will be going all out to notch up their first ever victory on Argentine soil, while the Pumas won't be giving in without a fight.
That may well be the clincher.
After this series, the next time Argentina and Wales clash will be the opening match of the Rugby World Cup. Argentina and Wales, 4:30 Tuesday, C7 Sport.
Find out what you want to know about the game, not what someone else wants to tell you.
Sylvester Stallone, Harvey Keitel, Ray Liotta, and Robert De Niro.
So what brings you to our fair city?
I heard it was a way of life out here. Thought I'd check it out for myself.
It's a place where the sheriff wears the badge,
Hey, Freddie! Hey, Fred!
but the cops own the town.
My jurisdiction ends at the George Washington Bridge. Freeze! Police! But half the men I watch live beyond that bridge, where no one's watching. I'm watching. Hands on the car! It's like you're the sheriff of Copland.
He always dreamed of becoming one of them.
I'd like you to meet Sheriff Freddie Heflin. Freddie's a hell of a guy. Well, you should call me.
But now, he has uncovered something that could force him to choose between protecting his idols
Freddie's my man.
and upholding the law.
I offered you a chance to be a cop, and you blew it.
Being right is not a bulletproof vest, Freddie.
What are you gonna do, Sheriff? You gonna arrest the whole town?
The Australian premiere of Copland, soon to the movie network.
So the Blues trying to do it for Craig Bradley, only the 3rd Carlton player to play 300 games, of course, behind the great John Nichols and the flying doormat Bruce Dool. Bradley, in an interview with Jim Wilson before the game, said that maybe he's going to retire at the end of this year, but he will make up his mind at the conclusion of the season. I think he could keep going for another 3.
I'd like to get some money on that he'll play again, Mick.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Braddles actually does. He's been an ornament to the game and also to his family. It was great to see his kids go out on the ground today to be a part of his 300th, and also to see his father, Lionel, pick the 2 kids up, Casey and also Jake. But to Craig Bradley, personal congratulations, because he's a terrific bloke. Had some terrific duels against him when we played against each other at Collingwood and Carlton, but all in all, he's a gentleman. Most importantly, he's been an ornament to the game.
And also with his style of football over the years, his use of the ball. When he got 25 possessions, it was a better 25 than a lot of other guys that play the game, because he just uses the ball so well, which is so important.
Carlton leads by 11 points as we begin the 3rd quarter at Waverley. The Hawks really need to find some goal kickers, not just today, but in the latter games of the season if they hope to take part in the September action. Salmon starting in the ruck. He started at full forward in the 1st quarter with Thompson doing the ruck duties. But the big fish having an interesting duel with Allen. They've played wide of each other a lot of the time. There's Brett Ratton, who kicked the goal virtually on the half-time siren. A very handy one from close in. Salmon wins it down to Taylor, who fumbles. Hamill gets over the football, tackled by Colliker. And we're going to see a ball up.
Pete, I got some big news for you here. Fraser Brown cannot come on for the rest of the game. He didn't go through the interchange gate at half-time and will not play for the rest of the day.
Oh, gee, that's a blue, isn't it? So to speak, if I could put it that way. Oh, good bump by Bradley on Crawford, who gets up, doesn't like the treatment that was meted out to him too, and they're going toe-to-toe at midfield. And Murphy comes in to remonstrate. That's what all that's about. Plays continuing downfield about 50 metres away. Chick's got it, fumbles. Taylor kicks it out of mid-air. Crowd got it, lost it. McKay, who's been resolute in defence. Now the ball needs to bounce okay for Salmon. Koutafidis is there though in the road. Still Kouta. Shepherd enables him to get his kick in. It came from Lappin, who takes it now. Lappin at left centre wing. Hay. Pearce ducks back the better.
And Murphy and Lex are still going on in centre wing here, directly in front of our commentary box. But Couchy, who actually gave you that information?
The emergency umpire there and the steward for the interchange, but it was also he wouldn't listen to his trainers there, Fraser Brown. They pleaded with him to go through the interchange gate and he wouldn't. He just stormed off and went outside it.
Well, there's Hamill receiving a little give there from Bradley, and he puts it through for a behind. But gee, that ball bouncing out in that centre wing a minute ago, it was a really important give. Let's see what happened here, Mick.
Yeah, well, there's the duel
with
Bradley and Crawford. But I don't know what actually happened with Murphy and also Leckers. Obviously, there was something off the footy that we couldn't actually see. But Carlton, in this early stage of the third quarter, they started fairly well.
Robin to Colliger. Colliger had no one to kick it to, so he just kicked to a space. Sexton was there, a bad hand pass. Now he's off. A hand pass, a look-away hand pass comes back to Sexton. It's smothered. That was given by Barlow. But a very important few minutes early in this third term where one side might be able to gain the ascendancy.
And Carlton's forward structure hasn't changed since the half-time break. Koutafidis is in the goal square. Pearce is directly in front of him. Whitnell's across centre-half forward with Hamill. And Silvani's back in the back half picking up Holland.
That was a magnificent tap out by Salmon over the back. Unfortunately for him, Daniel Chick couldn't get away with it. But
Peter, we've got an argument here with the emergency umpire and the interchange bloke there, and they're just wondering whether he can or cannot come on. They're trying to get an agreement on this. The Hawthorn are there and the Carlton trainers there also.
See if you can keep us up to date with that, Couchy, as we see Johnny Hassel bring it around the boundary line, and that was made to order for Camporelli. Over to Silvani. Now Hickmott caught. It's in a hand pass. Camporelli getting a heap of the ball. Well done, Nick Holland. Good play, Nick Holland. And it's a rock, gets in a hand pass, but it's gone straight to Lappin. Lappin read that pretty well, but Lappin's kicked very poorly.
That's 50.
Crawford better. That's unfair. That is unfair because Crawford had taken the mark and ran straight at Murphy. Now, I reckon the umpire's wrong there.
Well, irrespective, Pete, whether he's right or wrong, Murphy's got to control his emotions. There he's accepting the contest. Murphy was aware. He should have let go of his hands straight away there.
Well, I really believe the instigator was Crawford on that occasion, and therefore, OK, Murphy shouldn't have slung him. Well, he didn't do all that much anyway, but I reckon he was a bit stiff the 50 metres.
Yeah, he probably just held his ground looking at the replay.
That's what I'm saying.
Crawford no doubt deviated off the line once he took the mark and ran directly at Murphy. But interesting to see what Parkin does in that situation.
Hawthorn players lying on the ground down here. The kick is wide. It'll be probably forced through for a behind. Silvani and his opponent. Well, the Hawthorn player went to ground. I know there might have been a bit of stage acting down there.
Holland and Silvani. Now Silvani's going to get a free kick.
Yeah, a bit happening off the footy.
I think Holland was slung to ground by Silvani, and then Holland's come back to remonstrate. So the second offender is the one that's been caught. Now he's off and running. Silvani kicks to centre wing. Beautiful, spoiling tactics. That was fantastic, and that was by Barlow.
Crawford trying to get into the play. Hogg being brought back on the mark. Started manning up on Crawford midway through the second quarter. Bit of frustration for Crawford. Barlow, not Barlow, it's Johnny Hassel, clear of Sexton, has to beat three, into the goals, and that's a goal!
I couldn't see.
He's poleaxed.
Cop that!
I don't reckon he could see the umpire.
It's a goal.
Well, who's going to give the decision?
He cannot give a decision.
He was lying on the ground, wouldn't have known.
It's a goal.
Let's have a look at the replay.
I'd like to see this again.
Unbelievable decision. There's plenty happening here at the Waverley ground. Sexton's coming off the ground. Here's this replay. Good kick by Hassel. Was it touched?
It might have been.
Might have been touched. I reckon that is a good decision.
I think it might have been a good decision, but a lucky one.
Kay picks it up close to centre wing. We've had everything today except goals kicked. Hay, who's been one at Hawthorn's best, gets clear of Pearce, tries to get around it, maybe out of bounds. I think it is.
I can just sense a fair dinkum change in this game, Pete.
Yeah.
Sitting up here we have a look again. Umpire's in perfect position, except he didn't see Manton. But in the end, I think it was a rightful decision.
Yeah.
I think if one thing's going to get back into this game from Hawthorn's point of view, that is their tackling. They tackled exceptionally hard in the first half. It was 16-6. Already at this stage of the second quarter, they've laid some terrific tackles trying to get back into this game.
Mick, the confusion reigns down here still of the interchange. Stuart, he's just overruled the emergency umpire, and Fraser Brown's allowed on the ground now.
Well, there's Salmon was caught around the neck, I felt then. Has he got the free kick? Yes, he has. So big Paul Salmon trying to lift the Hawks. And getting back to that touch one on the line. We saw one yesterday with Darryl White that we thought he marked about a metre behind the line.
Well, you said he was in Brunton Avenue or something.
It was unbelievable, it was. Anyway, the goal was closer than us. Salmon. Oh, was that a push in the back? Crummel to Hassel. Into Crow. That's what we wanted, a proper full forward down there. Legitimate. But Croder's mark, but gee, was that a push in the back in that marking contest?
Well, it looked like it, didn't it?
I'll tell you one
Let's
play
see,
that's
there
made a
it
difference.
is. Oh, yes.
Certainly.
Silvani was pushed out by Crummel.
And this player on screen, John Hassel, he's made a significant difference to the midfield of Hawthorn. He has a great ability to run the lines and run very long and quick. He's starting to have an influence on this game.
Well, Crode has to kick this one from 30 metres. Oh, he hasn't made the diff. Oh, goodness me. No Hawthorn player back. He has not made the distance.
I'll tell you the reason why. Chick come off the ground. Holland was going to that full forward post. That's the reason why Hickmott was by himself.
Well, the kick again marked by Carlton. It's Allen. Oh, we're seeing everything here, and we're seeing some pretty ordinary skills.
Yes, I'll go along with that. That's kindergarten stuff, isn't it? Nobody down there.
Change of
the reason for it, but it shouldn't happen. Koutafides.
Oh, good mark.
That's a mark.
That is magnificent.
Pearce.
That is a terrific mark in the contest. To keep his eyes on the footy, diving forward. That is a magnificent mark there by Brad Pearce.
Now, he's in two minds here. Is he going to have a shot, or will he go short? It's the distance he's got to cover. He's gone short. Plenty on offer. He's found Murphy.
Well, I'll tell you what,
here's this mark here, Peter. Eyes on the footy.
Three. Yes.
Oh, magnificent.
Good grab.
Was a great grab. Now, he's a huge kick, Murphy, Pete.
If he hits this all right, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually gets the distance and the accuracy.
Well, he's given it a decent old roost. Just about brings down a seagull. Oh, thanks for coming. Beauty.
He's a thumping kick.
Well, deserved a goal after Pearce's mark, and Carlton stamping their authority on this match now, and they're just about blowing the Hawks out of the water. But remember, they came back from a 10-goal deficit. What can they do here? 24 plays 40. It's only 16 points, but in the context of the game, it's a good lead.
And that's when you know your teammate's strengths. Good work by Pearce. I was amazed when I was at Carlton for that year, Peter, the kicking depth of Justin Murphy.
Well, a fantastic kick, a booming kick from well outside 50 by Murphy. It was just what, well, it's what Hawthorn didn't want, because they're struggling to get a goal. There's Hamill, and the umpire will bounce it, but if you're short pass to someone, that's why earlier in the game when they kicked it across and lost ground, Hawthorn, they gave it to Holland. It was not a booming kick. You kick it to someone who can kick a long way like Murphy can. Salmon did well. Got it down. Centre wing is Hogg. Richard Taylor was the guy who kicked it. There's Murphy, just dropped it on the ground. Harford did well. Get it to Crawford. Crawford down towards Holland. Silvani.
Oh!
And Holland. Was there a holding going on? This is Lord. On to Smith.
Coming back, there's a free kick up near the 50-metre line.
There's a bit happening off the ball between Crawford and Murphy once again.
Mick, there's a bit happening on the interchange bench here. Chris Conley from the match committee at Hawthorn's come down to the interchange. Stuart arguing the point with him that Fraser Brown can't come on the ground.
What's happening everywhere, can't you?
Well,
we've got Carlton players and officials asking the interchange bench. He's never been besieged so much this week. He's very frustrated.
Nick Holland on the boundary line, 50 metres out. They need a couple of goals. They need them quickly. They need someone to take a mark, and they've got it.
Good
And
work,
this guy is the most improved player in the competition, I reckon.
Yeah, valid point. Very good work, Salmon off the footy. He just got himself in between the Carlton defence and also the ball dropping. Lekas was there, more or less shepherded the area.
Oh, this is for his second. Oh, don't tell me he might have just got it.
It's
I think he's got it. For his second, he has. Well, he didn't get in the Hawthorn coach's box. They would have had heart failure when the goal umpire ran right across them, Mick.
Yeah, no, very important goal for Hawthorn. Only 10 points of difference now. And you can just sort of sense the body clashes, the intensity certainly lifting. But here's his Salmon work off the footy. Just got in between Manton, who was going to spoil the ball in Lekas' hands. But there's an interesting duel. Lekas and Murphy have kicked the last 2 goals in this game.
Well, it's happening everywhere now. From the interchange bench out to the centre. They both go early. Salmon at the second attempt. Kicked by Taylor. Just clears the square. That should be a free kick to Carlton, you would reckon. It is. It's got to be. Sylvain.
Murphy's coming off the ground, obviously just to settle him down. Locke's come on to centre wing.
Good mark to Whitnell in front of Robran. Give it to Locke. Bounce is going to be important here. It beat Pearce. Crawford's kick goes for the line. Will it get there? It does. And it'll be thrown in at right half forward for Carlton. Well, I suppose Carlton supporters could ask, was that deliberate?
And Crawford's obviously tried to lift his team by just being inspirational in the body contest. No doubt Murphy would have been dragged from the ground, mainly because Lekas went forward. Murphy was prepared to remonstrate with Murphy. On centre wing.
Crawford got one in the 3KZ there.
Yeah, the umpire missed it. He's having a go, Shane Crawford. You've got to hand it to him. He's a gutsy little fella.
Let's watch this again. Right there. So a ball up just outside 50. Salmon and Allen. Salmon having a good quarter. Ratton tries to break the tackle. Too high, a little bit lucky.
It slipped up, didn't it?
But certainly correct in the context of the decision. Pearce will mark it. Oh, gee, good attempt. He took a beauty before at the third grab and had 2 goes at that and just missed. Throw in right forward pocket for the Blues.
Yes, one feels that this is going to be a real titanic struggle from here on in, and there won't be much in it at the end of the game. Hawthorn desperately trying to get themselves back in it. They're only 10 points behind. Salmon, Hogg, Pearce. Oh, look at the use of the body then. Oh, Crawford. Now he should get a free kick here, Shane Crawford. He was shoved in the head. A double whammy, and the umpire should give him a kick here.
Yeah, he'll get a free kick for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, the umpire's not paying it. You watch this. Shoved down, net in the head, and the umpire lets it go. Now, I cannot believe that. Fair dinkum, as we see it hooked back towards the boundary line. Now, why wouldn't he have got a free kick then?
And Pete, that's just ridiculing the philosophy that coaches teach at a young age. You've got to teach kids to win the footy.
Yeah.
That's what Crawford's trying to do, and to be antagonised and pushed around like that. This Hawthorn group have got to lift and support their captain.
Well, here's Salmon. He's trying his heart out. Oh, brilliant play by Salmon. Kicks it to centre wing. Bradley. Oh, he trapped that beautifully too. A quick give. Look at Smith. He moves like Robert Harvey when he... There's Silvani. They need this ball. That was good play by Lord to Rock. Rock. Back to Lord. He's got to kick it quickly. He does. They need... Oh, look at that. Poor play. Straight to Manton. On to Bradley, and Hawthorn juiced the ball down forward, not good.
Bradley and his 300th gets it to Koutafidis. Certainly making the defence of Carlton look good. And they've done a good job. Pearce up one-handed.
Rebound wing. Rock centre wing.
Harford. Rock on his own, as you said, Mick. Can't quite make the ground. Beaumont is there to block him and takes it out of bounds. What will they do here?
Must find targets. Must find targets once you're coming out of defence, especially if your teammate further afield has got space to run into once he receives the ball.
So right in front of the interchange gates where World War III is taking place, according to Couchy. Salmon's had a good quarter but couldn't find Smith with that tap. Camporelli tackled by Woods, who's had a stint on the bench. Lappin has to prop. Harford goes over the top. McKay confronted. Hamill sees it paddled past by Crummell. Colliker confronted by McKay. Back to centre wing. Allen up. Lost sight of the footy. Rock rose it well.
Good kick.
Some of the best crumbing we've seen from Hawthorn today. He did well there to get it to Holland. Still inside the square. Holland on a lead is Crow. Needs to bounce for him. It doesn't. Makes it easy for Manta, but he's headed straight to Rock. Has to buy some time. Rocky, you just about
the legs, wasn't it?
Crow applies a tackle. Rock again. They've put the whistle away. He's lost his pee.
Wasn't that tackle round the legs?
Ratton kicks to the wing and out of bounds in front of Murphy. Both sides boo.
Well, let's have a look at it.
Looked a little low. Oh, no, not too bad.
Around the thigh area, yeah.
Was okay.
Tackle. And also a good tackle by Crow. Good clearance there by Ratton.
Centre wing, Salmon tried to grab it. Ratton, Murphy. Here's Locke. Beautiful kick by Locke to Koutafidis.
And an open forward line, Pete.
Yes, and a quick kick by Koutafidis. Whitnell and Rodman. Rodman did well. Oh, danger because Hogg's got it. He kicks a goal. The bounce. Oh, just the wrong side of the post. And the Hawthorn supporters would breathe a sigh of relief because they're only 11 points out of it. But gee, I can't see where they're going to get goals from Hawthorn.
They're just getting no flow through midfielders. Crawford kicks the ball in short.
Gee, the Oggy Roos would outscore them today, wouldn't they? 3 goals. Harford. So most of his work in defence today. He is a goal kicker. Rodman is a long kick. Silvani punches. Tries to get it away from Holland. McKay was there. Gets the little flip up. By Brian Sheard in the road there nearly.
Massey's on.
Good mark to Hamill. Colliker being brought back by Carey. Bradley on his own. Game number 300.
Oh, look at Kuda.
Yeah, that's too easy. That's just bad manning up, isn't it? Kuda certainly is a goal kicker. Won the club's goal kicking a couple of seasons back.
Look at the use of the ball by Bradley. He just doesn't waste it.
He's had 11 and 3, and I'll tell you what, he wouldn't have wasted any of those. So the Blues by 11 points. Koutafidis, he'll kick from just inside 50. That's a goal. Never in doubt. His second. So the Carlton side restamping its authority on this match, and the difference now out to 17 points, and that's a pretty handy lead.
Yeah, it certainly is in the context of the scoring. But the game's far from over. There's the experience of Bradley not rushing his use on the way through for the Carlton forward line. He found Koutafidis, who in turn kicked accurately for goal to kick his second.
Well, a good little lead now to the Blues. There's 3 kicks in it now, 17 points. So Hawthorn would want to get the next one. Here's Salmon. This is their problem from here on in. Silvani, Holland's just not coming into the game at all. Silvani's out on him at centre-half back. And they're just getting killed down forward. That was a good punch away. And again he did well. This is Barlow receiving from McCabe. Again, that strong Carlton defence swoop. Here's Johnny Hassel racing after it. Well played by Hassel. Oh, Barlow just got his handball in. Now Lord. Lord goes inside. Tapped on. Oh, he was under pressure. Woods taken away by Camporelli. Massey couldn't mark. They've got a chance here of the Hawks. Graham. Salmon. Salmon's trying his heart out. He kicks wide. Oh, goodness me, they've lost it again. He waited. Beaumont, Rodram, a bounce very important here. Hamill jumped high. Massey The Hawks trying to get it out. They do through Conacher. Robrin. Now McCabe. They've got the loose man going. Thompson can chip it. An ordinary kick. A very ordinary kick. Holland. They put pressure on Holland. Again, a skill error. And just no excuse at this level of football. Mark taken by McCabe.
Two unforced errors, both one from each club. You can't afford to turn the footy over once you've got players streaming forward. Hawthorn did on that occasion. Also Carlton on the rebound, they did also.
Graham underneath it. Beaumont slung to the ground. He's got the footy. And that'll be a ball up. Tipper's becoming a little bit frayed.
A bit of feeling in here.
Yeah.
There is a lot hinging on this outcome of this game, and there's no doubt your emotions start to flow once you realise the end result could have a big bearing on whether or not you play finals footy or not.
Barlow wins it. Hooked down by Woods. Holland off a step. They come from all directions. Nelson, good mark.
Push out. That'll be Bradley's free kick.
Well, he can't play on then. So Bradley. 12th kick. Manton's been good.
Defence has been far too good, Carlton.
This is Murphy. Looks for Massey and Harford. They both came up through the under-18s competition.
What they need, the Hawks, is Jason Dunstall back in there. They had him for all those years down there, and that's one position they'd win every week.
Yeah. All the same, their midfield supply hasn't been that good, has it, Pete? They haven't really used the ball that well going forward.
True, but at least it's been down there a lot, and they haven't looked like scoring goals.
Conacher gets taken to the ground. Hassel. And that'll be out of bounds on the full. A remark down there to Hickmott. He takes it at left half back.
Adrian Hickmott, former Geelong player, to centre wing. Allen leans over Hassel, gives it off to Bradley. Bradley from a standing start in towards half forward. It floats over the back. Who's got the pace? Graham. Oh, in the back, the umpire will say here. Yes, he jumped into his back through the feedings. Mark Graham's going to trend. This is dangerous. Very dangerous, but it might come off. It does. To Robrin. Now Robrin, play on, said the umpire. He must have run a centimetre off the line.
Good kick. That's the way to play Waverley Park.
Great kick into Leckis. That's an ordinary kick by Leckis. It didn't hit the man, and that's against Carlton. You can't afford to miss the man. Nelson kicks wide. Allen. Thompson. Allen might let this float out. Actually helped it on its way a little bit. 17 points to margin. Carlton in front, and the way this game's been going, that's a big margin.
It's a big lead. If the Hawks are going to kick goals, they've got to do them quickly. Thompson, Allen, Ratton, Rice, ridden into the ground by McCabe, and another bounce to take place. Well, the Hawks have had a poor record in recent seasons against Carlton. The Blues have won 9 of their last 10. At the moment, it looks as though it's going to be 10 out of 11. It's strange how those runs occur. Thompson wins it. Hickmott in front, missed it. Ball paddled out the front. Chance for a rock. Ratton's got him. Ratton's nearly got the football as well. Comes up with it, but it's a stalemate. And right on the Coca-Cola emblem on the outer side, it's going to be another bounce. Hawks 2 points behind Carlton on the AFL ladder. As a result of a draw, of course. So if they lose today, their finals aspirations pretty well out the window. Not impossible, but pretty difficult. Hassel to Barlow. He missed a few games with a broken wrist. Marking contest at half forward for Hawthorn. None can take it. Ratton back to Hickmott, who does well. Hassel provides the opposition for Beaumont. It's out of bounds.
As we're down to under 2.5 minutes left, they really could do with one. The Hawks, there's Salmon having a little breather before the final term gets underway. Thompson doing the ruck work at the moment. The Hawthorn could really do with one. If they could get within 2 kicks before three-quarter time, and just give them that little bit more heart. But here's Ratton getting it to Beaumont. Beaumont, down towards half forward, thumped away. There's Robrin, brought to ground. Pearce out towards Hogg. Crawford's after him. He can't grab him. He wheels around, brings it back in front of goal. Oh, it's a chance for Whitnell's limping a little bit, I think, but this is cleverly done, Whitnell. Tremendous play, Whitnell, to Massey. unselfish play. Could have run and had a shot in his left foot, but that was fantastic.
Yeah, cool lad. He was always going to do that. I've seen him do that on a number of occasions in his football career. Have a look at this for poise. Sold the dummy. Could have easily ran and had a boomerang shot, dribbled along the ground, but played the percentages, knowing that Massey was free directly in front, 20 metres out from goal.
Chris Massey, this will make it difficult for Hawthorn if he kicks this. He's hooked it slightly, but he's got it. First goal of the game for Massey, and I'll tell you what, 23 points in the way this game's going is a huge margin.
It certainly is, but only 3 weeks ago this Hawthorn team here at Waverley kicked 10 goals against St Kilda.
In a quarter.
In a quarter, that was the third quarter, Pete. We were here that day and they played terrific footy, so in terms of still being alive, they can give themselves a realistic chance, but they have to kick a number of goals in the last quarter.
Whitnell, he's kicked 3 himself, and a gimme here to Massey, who got the goal. So Carlton, in the context of the game, you would say in the box seat. Hawks with a minute to go in this quarter, need another one. Massey flips it up, Murphy. Hay and Pearce. Now Crawford should provide a shepherd. The ball's out of bounds anyway. Carlton's left forward pocket. If the Blues get one here, well, the ball game's just about over. Not that you write the side off at this stage, but when you only kick 3 goals to 3-quarter time, it must be a worry for Ken Judge.
Interesting to see what they do in the last quarter with Holland. Maybe they might use him as a mobile ruckman. No, they've tried Salmon, they've tried Thompson.
Murphy snaps. Boundary umpire confers with the goal umpire. They give him the consolation prize. 1 goal, 1 to Murphy today. Always dangerous, close to goal. 24 points, so an even 4 goals. 15 shots to 14. A lot of those by Hawthorn have been rushed. There have been 4 rushed behinds, but I go back to earlier in the game when McCabe missed an absolute sitter from 15 metres out directly in front. You shouldn't miss those rocks, mate.
And Crow didn't make the distance from about 30 metres. Well, that sort of forward play is disastrous. Hickmott picks it wide, Camberella, and gee, if they can get one here now, Carlton, it would really hurt the Hawks.
He can nearly kick this also, Pete. He's a thumping kick.
Yeah, well, Canberra not quite. Well, he's right underneath. There's some pushing and shoving, holding. Carlton free kick, and I'll tell you what, that could be the end of the ball game if he kicks this. 5 goals, the way Hawthorn are playing up forward. Holding decision, the umpire said, against Collicker. You could see it there. Well, a bad error by Collicker.
You get the footy to that part of the ground. That's where defenders panic. They over-finesse in the marking contest, as Collicker did on that occasion.
So Hamill from point-blank range kicks a goal. So that's a 5-goal margin, and the Blues fans are happy. Look at them, a 5-goal margin, and Hawthorn would have to play as well as they did against St Kilda in the second half if they had to win this.
Well, it's 15 scoring shots Hawthorn to 14 Carlton, but football's about conversion. You have to kick the goals when the opportunity presents itself. Since quarter time, it's been the Carlton team that have taken control in that aspect of the game. 8 goals to 2 in 2 quarters of footy.
Hawthorn's lowest score since 1925 was in 1954 when they managed only 4-12 against Carlton. They might be struggling to get that today, so not a day to remember if you're a Hawks fan. Camporelli, Hickmott's kick up and under. There's the siren for 3-quarter time. And Carlton fans, I think, could already celebrate Craig Bradley's 300th because they have got the Hawks' coffin just about nailed shut at 3-quarter time. It's 9-6-60 to Hawthorn, 3-12-30, and Ken Judge looks very disconsolate as he makes his way onto the ground. We'll take a break from Waverley and be back with the final quarter shortly.
She's one of swimming's golden girls. In fact, it's hard to believe she's one of swimming's olden girls.
Monday on C7 Sport. Sam Riley on staying focused.
Because I'm towards the end of my career now, I think I don't take it for granted as much.
On the media spotlight.
Sometimes media and the public pry a little bit too much.
On the headache tablet incident.
I think that was one of the most traumatic things I've been through.
Sam Riley on the Tracy Holmes Show, Monday night, C7 Sport.
Go Harvey Norman for an IBM Internet PC for no upfront dollars. That's right, $0. This IBM Aptiva multimedia internet-ready computer has a 4 gig hard drive, 32 meg of RAM, 40-speed CD-ROM, 56K modem, and comes with Windows 98. Pay $0 now, and then $79.95 per month with no interest over 30 months with One Net's unlimited internet hours plan. Conditions, fees, and charges apply. See store for more details. Harvey Norman makes this offer as an agent for One Net.
Find out what you want to know about the game, not what someone else wants to tell you.
July's kicking on C7 Sport. AFL. We're punching out even more live games. Soccer.
Astonishing.
The Red Devils are coming. The Socceroos face up to the world's best club side, Manchester United. 2 games, 2 good. Golf.
My goodness, did you see that?
European PGA Golf, the best of the tour. Rugby.
And that's there. Dramatic.
International rugby running out Mondays at 5. Netball.
Oh, well done.
The best form of defence is attack. Commonwealth Bank Trophy Netball heats up into the final rounds. Cricket. Got exclusively live action from the richest club competition in the world. National League Cricket One Day Series live.
Well, it's something we don't see very often.
That's right, it's fast, it's furious, it's dangerous. Ireland's anything goes Gaelic games. Plus World Championship Handball. The Aussies prepare for 2000. See it all in July. C7 Sport.
3 goals and 3 quarters for Hawthorn, and when you consider that Angelo Lekas, a noted defender, has kicked 2 off them, I guess it tells its own story. And they trail Carlton by 5 goals. Lance Whitnell has kicked 3. Anthony Koutafidis has kicked 2 goals. Well, plenty's been happening on the field and off the field. Let's go down to Paul Couch.
Yeah, Peter, I've got
In fact, we're not quite ready for Couchy yet. Watch Mark Graham in the background there.
Yeah, Mark Graham's just in that right group on the right of screen. He's actually bending over at this current time, but he had a fair amount to say at the 3/4 time break. He actually vented his anger to someone within the group to his right-hand side. Just amazing vision, wasn't it, Pete?
Yeah, well, just before that it was, wasn't it? He was really remonstrating with the group that was on the left. But I think they're all disappointed, the Hawthorn players.
All right, well, let's go down to Paul Couch, and he's got another 300 gamer with him in Kelvin Moore.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. There's been a lot happening in the 3rd quarter. Didn't see much footy, but Kelvin, what's the ruling there? You've got Chris Conley come down. Chris Massey missed the interchange gate there. He's not supposed to come on, but he's on the ground.
Yeah, apparently just before half-time, I observed personally that the young fella Massey missed the interchange bench by a good metre, but from where the interchange steward sat, he thought it was close and he couldn't really see. So there's been a bit of to and froing there, and I suppose what prompted it more was Fraser Brown did the same at half-time. So, yeah, look, I spoke personally to the interchange steward and told him of it, but he wasn't sure, so he's let it ride.
Are you instructed by your players to go through the interchange gate there? I know Fraser Brown, they'll tell him to come through. There was confusion there. The emergency umpire said he was not allowed to come back on the ground. The interchange steward overruled him.
Yeah, well, we noticed that one as well. I mean, I don't know whether that one's a fine or not allowed, but our players are instructed at all times to go through the interchange bench at all after each break. So I think Fraser missed that one by about 10 metres. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe the position in the interchange steward's bench is not real good.
Right. Thanks, Kelvin. Back to you, Peter. There's a lot more happening off the ground than on the ground.
Yes, thanks, Couchy. 48,353 today. A big crowd, bigger than yesterday, which is perhaps a little bit surprising, but the Hawks with the job ahead of them in the final quarter.
Here it actually, Hawthorn's restructured their forward line. Chips in the goal square with Thompson. Just about 20 metres in front of them's Holland. Joel Smith's back on a half-forward flank with Aaron Lord up the ground.
Carlton leads 60-30 as we begin the final term. Koutafidis, who's kicked 2, puts the Blues into attack. Hamill, good mark. And within kicking distance, marking about 45 metres from goal over Collicutt. And if he kicks this one, then It's going to make Hawthorn's task very, very difficult indeed.
Yeah, well, if the coffin door's not shut yet, this goal by Hamill will certainly put the last nail in the coffin. He's been a good player since he's come onto the ground. He's just gave an extra target across half forward. He is a good competitor, very fierce on his attack on the ball, and he's a penetrating kick.
Hamill from 50 gives it a pretty good ride, maybe touched right on the line, and in fact that was the case. So one behind to Carlton. The difference now out to 31 points. Early in the final quarter, Robin has the football. 1-2 to Aaron Hamill today. Robin is one of the longest kicks in the side. That's a beautiful kick distance-wise. Putting it up to centre wing. Collicutt taps it down for Crawford, shepherded by Salmon, who takes it, but it is out of bounds, and it will be thrown in between wing and right half forward for Carlton.
Well, you've got to admire Shane Crawford. He's got a tagger on him. That's Matthew Hogg, an old-fashioned type tagger, Matthew Hogg. But Crawford in that third term, he tried everything to lift his side. A tremendous performance. Koutafidis has been all class. So is this guy. Playing in front, Whitnell. He's been very, very good. He's given off a couple of goals and kicked 3 himself. Whitnell puts it into that danger area as far as Hawthorn is concerned. Oh, Pearce did that very easily. Camporelli, he's been good. Gives it off to Ratton. Ratton chips it short and finds a very good kick for goal in Pearce. Now Pearce is going to run out and try and bomb it in at goal. It's going to just miss. Is it a free kick? No free kick. It's a point. But again, Whitnell showing his intelligence as a footballer by just putting it into that area about 30 metres from goal where defenders tend to panic a little bit. Crawford tried everything in this game to lift his side, as has Paul Salmon. Now, what will he do? He's going to drive it long. It's to a contest. Allen in the beautiful position over the back of Mark Graham, a lovely mark. He's way out on centre wing, brings it in towards half forward. Up they go. Crawford from behind thumps it towards the boundary line. It's still in. Massey is dragged down. Collicutt smothered off his boot. And it'll be a bounce.
Carlton's left forward pocket, or between half forward and the forward pocket. 32 points the margin. That's the biggest it's been so far in the match. Robin again. Off a standing start. Graham in front. He'll look for a hand pass. No, he won't. He's decided to kick the ball long. Blazes away up towards midfield. Nelson on Smith. Castle.
Good hands.
He's been okay since he came on. Harford spent most of the day in defence for Hawthorn. Turns it over again to McKay. On to Bradley. 300 gamer. Never waste a disposal. Koutafidis has kicked 2. Whitnell has kicked 3 and had a hand on a couple of others. Hogg and Crawford. Hogg kicks the goal. Salmon says it was touched, but I don't think so. That is the ball game.
Yeah, it's all but over now. You'd think Koutafidis has been terrific since he's been asked by David Parker to go into the centre bounces and also be more or less a floating midfielder to go forward or go across the half-forward line. We know his ability in that part of the ground is good, but there's a jubilant Matthew Hogg after kicking a goal, his first for the day.
Well, Carlton have got all the answers. Hawthorn blew it early when they had all the play and couldn't kick goals. And the Blues have just steadily got better and better as the game has progressed.
Good ruck with it.
Richard Taylor down to half forward. It's a loose ball with Joel Smith.
Oh, good hands.
He gives it off. There's a left foot snapper goal. And it is through. It's kicked by Barlow.
To number 33 is kicking the first goals of the last quarter. But have a look at the hands here by Joel Smith. Magnificent ruck work there by Salmon over the back to Taylor, who got the ball forward. There's Joel Smith just to the right of screen. What's a little touch to allow Barlow to run into the vacant goal square and kick accurately for goal. But there's still a lot of footy left in this game, albeit a 31-point advantage to the Carlton team, but they wouldn't want to relax because Hawthorn will certainly keep coming.
Barlow's first goal. Hawthorn's averaged a goal a quarter so far, so they've got their goal for this term, at least so far. Salmon's been their best player, far and above. Hassel. Knock on by Holland. Chick, a little give. Smith runs out of room, runs out of bounds, did he? No, yes, still in, still going. Ball smothered, McKay off the ground. Rice missed it. McKay, good pick up, good tackle, Taylor. Crawford over the top of Murphy. Holland in short. Harford. Holland again around Hamill. Murphy gets them out of danger. Whitnell and Robin, but that's out of bounds on the full. So free kick Hawthorn at left centre wing to be taken by Robin. Doesn't waste any time.
Good change of direction.
Salmon really had to stretch up there, the big fish. Massey on the mark. Gives it away to Tony Woods at midfield.
Oh, yeah, they've got loose men everywhere here, the Hawks. Mark it is Hassel. He's got to move it quickly. He can go wide. He kicks it down that centre corridor. No mark. That was a dangerous kick because there were plenty of Carlton players there. Should have chipped it wide and got the loose man going there. Camporelli to Hawthorn. Whitnell. Oh, couldn't mark. It's tapped down. Crawford has been fantastic.
Yeah, he's been terrific. He's had 26 possessions, Pete.
On to Salmon. Here's Johnny Hassel. He's got a cruel bounce. That was unfortunate. Tapped on to Taylor by Woods. That was good. A poor kick, Tony Woods. Hand pass given to Bradley, and that might hurt them here. They've got plenty of defenders back though. Oh, Whitnell used his body beautifully. Oh, look at that for football. Whitnell for goal number 4. Fantastic play by Whitnell, and that is sheer class.
And he loved it too. Terrific stuff by Lance Whitnell. He certainly is a class act.
He is sort of player that Hawthorn need up on their forward line.
Well, once again, it started at the other end with a shocking kick under no pressure whatsoever by the Hawks into their forward line.
I think it was Tony Woods, wasn't it?
I think it was Woods. But it was a terrible kick.
Whitnell's 4th goal, it did come from another turnover across half-back. So the game for Carlton, you would suggest, pretty well safe. Salmon's been good at the centre bounces, but they're falling down again across half-forward. McKay.
Down the field.
Might be a free kick downfield, it will be. Whitnell opens it up for Bradley. Kick a goal on your 300th, son. He does. Blue supporters love that.
And that's great to see. Most Carlton players running straight towards Craig Bradley and giving him a pat on the back. McKay has been absolutely terrific across half-back. He's destroyed Chick. He's beaten every opponent that's come to him, but good awareness there by Whitnell once again. Good handball. Bradley didn't have to change stride running into goal. He didn't try to overkick it, just guided it through. That's experience. And that's the reason why that bloke on screen is a class act. Congratulations, Craig Bradley.
And I don't like to surmise what you're going to do with votes, but I know his best man on the ground in my book.
Al Whitnell?
Yes, and if you're playing centre forward, the hardest position on the ground, and he ran a long way then, Craig Bradley. Yes, he's been caught. He didn't bounce it when he should have, and he's been pinged. But in centre forward, I think all footballers say that it's the hardest position to play on the field, and Whitnell not only has kicked 4, he's given a few away and has been fantastic.
He's taken 9 marks, he's had 11 kicks and 7 handballs, 4 goals straight, and as you suggested, Pete, he's gave a couple of goals away also.
Oh, that is disgraceful play. It's starting to annoy me right now to watch that sort of kicking in AFL football, and Kenny Judge must be tearing his hair out. Vandenberg. Here's Lappin. Harford. Haven't seen a lot of Harford. Harford goes short. Finds Rock. Anthony Rock way out at half-forward. He's chipping it into that centre corridor. 2 defeat he's got there. Richard Taylor receives. Races into goal, Taylor. Oh, goodness me. He's missed also by about 7 metres. And it's just poor kicking. It's shocking skill.
Doesn't look pretty. 37 plays 80. So they've beaten their worst score against Carlton since 1925 by 1 point. Camporelli. Ratton. Left half back. Into Beston Fairest's and Optus Oval. Crawford slips over.
He's worked hard.
Oh, he has. He and Salmon have worked pretty hard. Hay. Out of bounds on the full. Under pressure. Carlton free kick at left half back. Ratton will be the recipient. Brett Ratton short of centre wing. Doesn't get great distance with the kick. Doesn't have to. Hamill. Too tall, too good, too big. Whitnell. Lock. Vandenberg in the back pocket takes the mark.
If there's one probably critical part of Damien Lock's game is his foot disposal. He just kicks it a little bit too high on occasions and not to the advantage of his forward.
Oh, Kudafides, terrific tap back from Hamill. Will they turn it over? No, they won't. They still retain possession. Hamill out towards half forward, spears the pass into Hickmott, who marks just outside 50, runs on. Lappin. Oh. Yes, he's got it.
He's clever.
Could have played on too.
He's very clever, Lappin. But Hickmott, he's got terrific foot skills.
Well, it was kicked to his advantage, wasn't it?
He more or less invited Lappin to lead into that open space, gave it the signal with the ball. Lappin found front position, and as you said, Pete, it was certainly to Lappin's advantage, not Vandenberg's. And he took a very well judged mark in front of his opponent.
Well, it's turning into a real percentage booster for Carlton now. That's not going to boost it by too much though, just one behind. His first score of the day, a mitre one, 37 plays 81. And looks like Brad Pearce taking a rest on the boundary line. 4:13 to 12:9. 11.5 minutes remaining.
Well, Angelo Lekis has kicked 2 of the Hawks' 3 goals.
And he's a defender.
And that's right. And this is McCabe. Just nothing happening up forward. Carlton do have a very, very good back line, particularly when Silvani does go back. It's a very, very good line. Oh, that's a free kick against Allen, surely. The umpire might have paid the advantage there, as we see Anthony Rock bring it in towards half forward. Nice mark taken by Graham. He gives it off. This is Barlow. Barlow kicks it up high, but he's kicked again a poor kick into the forward line, straight to Bradley. So, not good football this by Hawthorn. Carlton have been very good. Hickmott. The Blues continuing that dominance they've had over Hawthorn. And there's another poor kick. This time by Carlton. Rock on the Graham. He's on his preferred left foot. Now he bends about. Holland should mark this. He's got the sit. Can't do so. The Blues got numbers there. Hickmott kicks it short. Now Rock again. An up and under kick. And Mark Graham has taken this mark. Now he's playing on. And he's found Lord, who will kick from 35 metres directly in front.
Haven't had too many marks inside 50 today, have they, on their forward line?
No. You have a look at their marking players. Holland's taken 5 marks. A lot of them would have been outside the forward 50. Crawford's had 6. Robin's had 6. And they've had a ring of players. Woods, Rock, Graham and Lekis all taking 5.
So Aaron Lord for his second. No doubt about it, it's a goal. So 2 goals to Aaron Lord and 2 to Lekis of their 5 goals.
Yeah, well, Lord's a player in the forward part of the ground that certainly can find some space. But Graham, who's been shifted to the half-forward area for this last quarter, he's gave the Hawthorn team a little bit of run and spark across that part of the ground. But this is where you've got to salvage some pride and have some sort of resolve inside you to actually accept the challenge and not give it away.
Aaron Lord got the goal, his second. We're just past the halfway mark of the final quarter. 38 points is the margin. And the Fish looking rather battle-scarred.
Been fantastic play for Hawthorn, hasn't he?
He has. A couple of best and fairest. They'll be hoping he can keep going next year. I'm not quite sure what his intentions are, but boy, they could use him. Rocked, quick kick, clears the square, and that's about all. Murphy takes it from Beaumont. Koutafidis up to Whitnall.
Smart again.
On a lock. Lekas. Harford off a step. Well, ball takes a right-hand turn at the interchange gates. I think the Hawks might be practicing their disposal skills during the week.
I think they'll be doing a fair bit of it, Pete, because that's certainly one part of the game that Ken Judge would absolutely be disgusted with. Just their foot disposal and even their hand disposal in close hasn't been that good today.
Yeah, they started bad and they've got worse. Crawford off the ground, out of bounds. Was it a good duel with, well, Hogg's been on him for, I think he started there about halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, that's right, Pete.
Well, he's had the ball more than any other player on the ground.
Yeah, he's been terrific. His work rate's so good. That's the reason why he gets a lot of the footy.
Murphy runs into Ratton, who still gets a kick away. Well done. Here they are. Hogg and Crawford. Rice has got it. Beaumont tries to get around McCabe and does so. Wobbly punt off the boot. Lappin's there in the goal square. Vandenberg beats him to it. Needs to be quick. Unloaded as he kicks.
Straight to Kuta.
Yes, good mark. Had his name written all over it. If he can fit Koutafidis on a footy. Beaumont out to Rice. Rice outside 50. Looking for Whitnall. Hay takes him out of that contest. He'll be keen to see it out of bounds. Vandenberg, will he give it to McCabe? No, he won't. Goes for the kick, clears it to halfback.
Yeah, but again, the Carlton players are there for the contest. You've got to hand it to them. Nelson got back, gave it across to Silvani, to Rice. Almost gone. Here's Nelson again. On to Bradley. He'll be the darling of the Carlton crowd today in his 300th game and 300 great games. And Holland's gone back into defence to take the mark. On to Angelo Lekas. Lekas just blazes away, and again a poor disposal. It's gone straight to Beaumont. Beaumont goes short, and even Silvani's sneaking down there around the wing area to get a few kicks. He kicks it across the ground, finds Lock. Lock to Silvani. The Hawthorn players look very tired, and there's Hamill on the lead and marks it out in front. This side of the ground they've found it difficult scoring goals from, though.
Yeah, very hard pocket to kick goals from, especially today for some reason. Obviously it's a cross breeze from right to left. Hamill had a shot early in this last quarter, more or less directly in front, but probably from the 50-metre line. He'll probably kick from about 48 metres on this occasion. He's a good kick for goal.
Well, Aaron Hamill from 50, it's a helicopter-type kick, and it is flicked through for a behind. He's getting some encouragement there, Aaron Hamill. 12-10 to 5-13, and Crawford even going down and doing the kicking in as well for his club.
Leading from the front. Kicks it straight to Murphy though, marking in front of Lekas. The Hawks played on the heavy ground at Footy Park last week against Port Adelaide. I'm wondering if that's taken any out of their legs. It may have.
I reckon Murphy ought to get that out of his game, all this mouthing off and telling the player where to get on the mark. I reckon it means you're not concentrating enough on your game.
That's a fair comment. He's a good player.
Well, he's got heaps of ability.
He has. And we saw Barry Hall kick 6 goals yesterday, and he's much more controlled footballer now. And wasn't he fantastic yesterday? Crawford from Harford. Holland.
You don't see Robert Harvey and guys like that mouthing off all day, do you? They just go and get the ball.
Silvani. Over Lord's head. Lock. Back to McKay, who's been resolute. Holland, real slips catch, good mark. All the Hawks trying to manufacture something out of defence. Jonathan Hay. Kick drops a little bit short. Taylor, courageous mark inside the centre square.
Change direction out wide to Vandenberg, you could possibly do, Pete.
He's gone over the head of Woods. Sees Barlow. Murphy on the mark. Barlow's kick. Up and under, that's okay. Lekas. Bradley on the mark. Well, the way Bradley's played today, you reckon he could and should go on for about another 2 or 3 seasons. Straight to McKay, thanks very much. On to Camporelli, back to McKay, brushes an opponent with ease. Down towards half forward. Allen on to Murphy. This should be a goal. Put it down. Well, you can put it down, but put down a behind. He should have kicked it, and he knows it.
You'd back him 99 times out of 100 from there.
You certainly would. And that's when the opposition has the last laugh. You should kick an easy goal like that and you miss. But with a 40-point advantage, I've got no doubt that Murphy can have a little bit of a smile on his face.
Crawford kicks close to the line. Oh, I don't think he touched it. So it's a penalty kick. So everything going wrong for the Hawks today.
That's twice from fullback kick-outs they've done that.
Hamill to Whitnell. I think it's going to be...
Crawford actually kicked the ball to himself and ran out of the goal square.
Oh, that's right.
And that's the reason why it's got to be a throw-in.
That's quite correct. So the umpires are conferring and getting it right. Thompson and Allen. Allen has developed into a top-class ruckman. That's Harford. Hurry kick to centre wing. Smith. A good hand pass under pressure. That was Harford getting it to Crawford. Another possession. Here's Johnny Hassel. Let's hope his kick's better this time. It is. He finds Lord, who will have to kick about 47 or 8 metres.
Crawford, you'd have to be impressed with his work rate today. He's been the only probably winner across the ground for the Hawthorn team.
What about Salmon's work, Mick?
Yeah, Salmon's been pretty good. I don't think he's had a fair influence on the game. Allen's has been minimal also. They've basically negated each other, I believe, Pete.
Aaron Lord for his third. That's a beautiful kick. He's got it. So Aaron Lord just getting the Hawks some respectability on the scoreboard. But I agree with you, Mick, about Crawford. He's been Hawthorn's best player by a mile.
Oh, yeah, clearly best player. You just go through their list of players. No one really stands out at you as about having an influence on the game, bar Crawford. He's ran tirelessly. He's had a direct opponent all day in Matthew Hogg and also at the start of the game, Bradley. But he's been very good.
Well, the big fish sits it out now. I think, Judge realising the game is gone. So no sense in getting Salmon injured. I'm sure that's the thought behind it. He's probably a bit sore after last week anyway. Hassel's hand pass ineffective. Comes to Murphy. Tackled by Graham. Bradley. As I said, they'll be celebrating his 300th tonight. McKay takes the hand pass from Camporelli. He's been very good, McKay. Up to half forward. Hamill the flyer. There's a free kick here. It's going Hawthorn's way. The advantage is paid. Barlow's got it. To Holland. Back to Barlow. Chris Barlow. And Crow takes the mark.
It was interesting. Parkins actually pushed Manton forward. Beaumont's the player now directly opposed to Crow. Manton's been a very good defender all day for the Carlton team. He was matched up early on Salmon. Thompson went forward at different stages. Crow's been there also. In terms of those three players directly opposed to Manton, Manton's won hands down.
Trent Crow wearing Peter Knight's old number. Kicks truly for a goal. Hawthorn 7th. They still trail effectively by 5 goals. They're not going to win the game, but if they can get another couple more, it will certainly look a lot more respectable on the scoreboard.
I suppose the assessment of from both coaches at the end of this game will be looking at the influence of a key centre-half forward.
Yeah.
Whitnell for Carlton has been a superb player. The other end of the ground, a critical player, Holland's just started to get into the game.
So a 5-goal margin, just under 5 goals to Carlton. And really do play well against Hawthorn. Here's Camporelli bombing it down towards the half-forward line. Lappin and Vandenberg. And it beats them both over the line, and Lappin helps it on its way.
Well, is he get penalised for kicking it away? He's not.
Yes, sometimes you can be for that. But it's right on the 50-metre line. Carlton scoring in. Their defence has been far too good for the Hawthorn forward line. There's Barlow driving it in towards half-forward. Holland can thump it on. The Blues have got numbers. Silvani receives from Allen. He gives it to McKay, who's been a fantastic player. The umpire went down. Good play by Aaron Lord to put some pressure on. He deserved to get it back from Graham. Aaron Lord has kicked 3 goals. Here's Crawford. Crawford slung as he got rid of it. No mark down forward. Hickmott. Silvani. Rice. Just a touch of the fumbles. Hickmott comes in and does some shepherding.
Oh!
Beaumont.
On the footy.
Oh, the umpire's about to pay, holding the ball, and then he got his boot to it just at the right time, and the umpire's about to blow the whistle. That was a great camera shot.
Millisecond there in
the
that.
umpire put the whistle up to pay the free kick.
Have a look at this for a hit.
Yeah, well, the umpire went by, but just after that, umpire Brian Sheehan was about to pay holding the ball, and he just got his boot to it. Now, that is Fraser Brown, was it? No, it was Locke. Kicking it around the boundary line and out.
And Camporelli just on screen. He's been a terrific player also for Carlton. McCabe had the job on him early to nullify his influence. There's the Carlton bench.
All smiles.
Brown, Pearce, Sexton and also Massey. Happy bunch of players. McKay's been outstanding.
Has he ever?
Another kick to McKay. Lappin rows this well. Taps it to the front. Crawford and Hogg. Hogg out to Murphy. Murphy loves a goal and gets one.
Had the last laugh.
Where will he go here? No. Justin Murphy kicks his second. He's got 2 goals too. And looking so much better when he just plays for him. A very talented player.
He's just got great speed and balance. Good tap on there by Hogg. And that's usually a team rule. You must keep the footy alive in your forward 50-metre area. Creates opportunities.
Justin Murphy, great balance, kicked his second, but it was terrific knock on by Matthew Hogg that set it up for him. Crawford, the ball went between his legs, socked away by Hogg. Oh, just getting his kick to it. It was McCabe. Now Barlow, a hurry kick straight up in the air. They swoop from behind. Oh, that's a good mark by Thompson, running back with the flight. Nathan Thompson, he gives it off to Barlow. Barlow to half-forward. Holland, mark. Beaumont is there, and Hickmott, free kick to Hickmott. Oh, the umpires missed it. It was round the neck. Bradley heads for the boundary line after receiving from Silvani. Camporelli's been a very good player. He's had 17 kicks and 11. There he is, 17 kicks and 11 hand passes. Bradley's had 19 and 6. Ratton's had 12 and 10, and Andrew McKay has had 13 and 10.
Camporelli averages about 21 or 22 a match, so he's up to standard. Ratton's always in the leading possession gatherers, and Bradley, well, we hope he plays another season or two. I'm sure he will. Whitnell.
He's been terrific too, this bloke.
He can play. Good to see him back to some excellent form. Lappin on the grand final side for St Kilda.
Bacon goal.
Funny old kick. Which way will it go?
Oh.
Bounces to the right, then he bounces out of bounds. Crawford.
Jeez, he's ran his heart out.
He has. Harford kicks it over the head of Kudafides. Hay should take the mark. Murphy just a little bit late on the scene, but no damage done there. Jonathan Hay in the right back pocket. Whitnell again in the thick of things. Joel Smith. Great to see him coming back to some form too after 2 knee reconstructions. Beaumont to the front. Manton on his bike. To Sauce. Allen. Paul Salmon on the bench at the moment. So Allen on mark there. And there's the bell. Carlton have won pretty convincingly in the end. And there's the man of the day. 300 games. Gets congratulated by Johnny Hassel. And the Blues fairly easy winners. 13-11-89. Defeating Hawthorn 7-13-55.
And Justin Murphy has taken the ball over and given it to Craig Bradley. That's a good gesture.
Well, fair enough. He had his moment. Couchy's down now. Let's see if we can get to him.
Braddles, how's the week been?
Oh, I'm glad to say it, but it's a great win today.
How were you? Were you nervous before the game?
Oh, no, it's all right, but I just wanted to win because we need to get in the 8 and stick around the joint, so just keeps us interested now.
Over your career, who would you like to thank? You've got time now, your family was out there, that was a great touch. Is your dad over, your family over too, just to watch this?
No, Dad's here obviously, but just all the Carlton supporters and all the Carlton Footy Club, it's great to play here, so keeping it low-key. But
congratulations on your 300 games. I just saw one handball out there, you're just starting to handball now, and that's 300
It's not on, I've got to keep the kick, stuff the handballs.
Good on you, and the conditions today were pretty windy, a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, it was a bit, but we got it, and I'm in trouble here.
Good on, go and enjoy it. Go on.
Terrific to see. Silvani, a good mate of his. Andrew McKay. And that is a terrific gesture to a champion of the game. Times like this is what winning's all about. To share moments of glory with blokes you respect. And that's what footy's all about. A couple of weeks ago, Pete, we seen Damien Monkhurst getting carried off.
Yeah. I don't know who tried to carry him off. It would have been a pretty big
task. It was up to the two Rocker boys. But in the end, to see Craig Bradley being carried from the ground and to hear that song bellowing in the background with the Carlton supporters standing on their feet, putting their hands together to clap and adore this man, it's a terrific gesture.
5 All-Australian, 2 premiership sides, 3 best and fairest and 4 times runner-up, and now 300 games, only the 3rd Carlton player to do it. And only the 35th since records were first kept.
And isn't it good that the Carlton side is not running all around the ground doing handstands and waving to the crowd? That's a lot of rubbish. They've won the game and they get off.
I think that's pretty well said. All right, 34 points was the margin in favour of Carlton. We'll take a break, back in a moment.
I thought I was pretty ruthless, hard and tough in the first 8 or 9 years that I coached. I was the best grub you've ever seen.
Robert Walls, a premiership player, a premiership coach. Listen to a man who knows the game on Football Feedback, 7:30 Monday nights.
I feel I have a responsibility to tell it and write it as I see it. You'll ruffle a few feathers, but basically people respect you. I love the game, I love watching it. Their skills, their courage, and the team aspect is the best of all.
Find out what you want to know about the game, not what someone else wants to tell you.
Go Harvey Norman for the biggest range and best prices on camcorders. Buying a camcorder is so easy with our expertise in big brand names like Sony, Panasonic, JVC, Sharp, Samsung and Hitachi. We've broken the $2,000 price barrier on digital video cameras with broadcast quality sound and picture. This JVC model is now available for $1,995. Big range, the latest digital technology, the best service. Get us to demonstrate the new technology to you today. Harvey Norman, your camcorder specialist.
From Academy Award winner Tom Hanks, the producers of Apollo 13, Brian Grazer and Ron Howard, and a team of top Hollywood action filmmakers, assembled to celebrate the 30th anniversary of mankind's biggest adventure in the event of 1999.
The moon is essentially gray. Looks like plaster of Paris.
Stories never before told of the complete Apollo missions.
Contact line. Shit.
Launched against a time of social upheaval and volatile world politics.
I've seen a lot of women lose their husbands and become widows. And you know what? I think I may be next.
The movie network will take you to a place only 12 men have gone before.
Here we go. Straight as a dime.
The countdown has begun to the event of 1999.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
From the Earth to the Moon, the Australian television premiere launches July 19 on Movie Extra.
Let's check your votes, and I thought McKay should have been there, but you're the expert and I couldn't disagree with any of those names.
Yeah, well, Whitnell was clearly the best player on the ground as far as I was concerned. I was very impressed with Kutafuti's game today. Down back initially on Holland. I thought he had the better of him. Went to midfield, controlled the ball. And Crawford was clearly Hawthorn's best player. Apologies to Camporelli and also McKay. They could have been easily put into those votes.
Let's check the ladder. West Coast Eagles and the Kangaroos doing it on top at the moment, and clearly they are the two form sides of the competition. West Coast on top from the Bombers now. The Kangaroos on third, separated by not too much on percentage. The Bullies, Brisbane Lions, St Kilda, Sydney and Carlton making up the 8. Let's check now round 15. Next week, Friday night, Richmond and West Coast. Saturday, Carlton and Adelaide. Could be an interesting one. Geelong and Collingwood. Melbourne, Sydney. Fremantle and St Kilda, and the Brisbane Lions take on Hawthorn in a night game at the Gabba. Sunday, 2 further games, Port Adelaide and Essendon. The Western Bulldogs then play the Kangaroos. Enjoyed your company this afternoon, Mick.
Thanks,
We'll
mate.
see you all again next week.